The Vaingate Chronicles, episode number 71. Long before the day of Parkard, during the First Age, the giants of the Asturian Empire, an empire that spanned hundreds of worlds, and the dragons waged a war that almost destroyed Sidariel. During this conflict, one of the sons of Annam, Memnor, the trickster god of the giants, incensed by his father's power, betrayed his people. He imparted the key to the giants' empire to his daughter, a demigoddess named Unglamore, sending her on a dangerous mission to find the queen of evil dragons, Tiamat, deep in the 9 planes of hell. He gave her the power to at last bring ruin upon the Asturian empire of Sidariel, and allow the dragons to take their key stronghold, Gargothias. The key itself, a bright stone that Tiamat would later infuse into the Parkard comet that at the end of the First Age would split the sun in twain and destroy the moon temple, literally the first moon of Sehanine Moonbow, before carving out the rift from which all evil in Sidariel would eventually awaken. In response to this betrayal, Stronmaus, the god of the sun, dispatched his clerics, the Stormazine, to the world, but it was too late, and Memnor was nowhere to be found. Out of her love for her father, Unglamore, the messenger to Tiamat, allowed herself to be captured by the Stormazine clerics, cloud giants of immense power and wealth, and she was tried for her father's wrongdoing. Found guilty, she would be locked up indefinitely in a prison on the edge of the world, an island named Fraktos. Here she was turned to stone by the Stormazine and left for 20,000 years, conscious, but unable to move or speak, and in this state she waited, biding her time, meditating upon her actions and those of her father Memnor, and finally coming to new conclusions. Recently, a small party of companions, the Frostmoor Crows, discovered her prison during their own tests and trials, and after examining the evidence decided to free her from her predicament. She promised them 3 miracles to be set upon the world, but by the time they returned to the mainland, she was gone, disappeared, vanished, not to be seen again. Yet the Frostmoor Crows still trust that she will return, and the Stormazine have sent word to Mount Celestia of her escape. In the meantime, no one knows the fate of the daughter of the trickster god, and there is word that the Stormazine have broken their pact to never return to Sidariel themselves. The Goliath tribes of Ben Vanaheim have reported sightings of a giant vessel in the sky, with the mark of the Smiling Ones, the Stormazine, emblazed upon their sails. Welcome to the Vaingate Chronicles. I'm Russell Kirkby, and I'd like to introduce you to Michael Bate as Adric Fogdar.
Hello there.
Joanna Grotenhouse as Dala.
Good evening.
Or Good Day Old Dala Talandaran, if we want to use the full title. We have Barry to hear tonight, currently billed as Ren, but actually he's going to be playing a character named Storm, a Tabashi ranger, and Caitlin Flower as Nyla.
Hello. It's very cold in my house, so I'm wearing a snugget.
Right, and it's cold here too, so I have a pink.
Thank you.
Don't tell anybody.
My booth is blankets and foam. It's fairly warm in here.
Yay, Orson is here as well. Orson D, welcome, Orson
Yeah,
D.
amazing.
We love that guy.
Awesome. Just so you know, we'll be changing our time in the not too distant future, like maybe in a month and a bit.
Yeah. Probably to a Saturday daytime kind of time slot. I don't know if that's good or bad for our current viewers.
Probably just after the charity game, because that's on the 27th of August.
If you are in the audience and if you have any thoughts about that, do sing out, because we would like to know how you feel about it.
We will listen to your concerns,
We'll
but really
probably
we want to
ignore
bring
them.
more people on who are American.
Basically, to be fair, that's kind of the truth, is that there are a lot of Americans who need more D&D in their lives, and
They need good D&D.
good D&D, and they're not getting it.
Basically, they just need an escape from the reality that is their life, which is kind of like a dumpster fire.
Yeah, but from the hell country that is the United States.
I didn't say any of that stuff, and it does not represent my current views. Just saying. My wife's American.
Hey, look, it's not the nerds' fault that they live in a hell country.
Well, they had it run by a clown for a few years, and they've been left with this, so...
Which one?
Which one? Many clowns. All right, let's not get into politics. We'll get ourselves banned off Twitch if going down that road. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, oh my god, Caitlin's wearing sunglasses. Why are you wearing...
because her future's looking so bright.
She needs shades. That makes sense. So Barry, you
Because I was being shady, so I needed to shade.
are you the real Slim Shady?
I'm not gonna stand up.
You're not going to stand up. Okay. How are you doing, Barry? I haven't heard anything from Barry to hear tonight. Give us a sound check there. No? Oh, he's in.
No, I'm getting into character.
He's in character. I can tell.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have just stormed the. Let's see what I did there. You've stormed the Forge Gate. You've defeated a few dozen Dwegar and Darrow who have been protecting it, squatting in this location for some time. You've beaten Lavinia Diomedes, whose name you never got out of her because you're too busy beating the shit out of her, last week, who was the Red Abjurer. She had a title and everything. And her various demon-spawned fiend accomplices. And so now you have the Forge. In the meantime, what has also occurred is that our dear friend Adric Fogdar has done some transformative things recently. In fact, why don't you talk about that, Michael? Let me hand it over to you to talk about your character.
Well, for anybody that knows anything about dwarves, the dwarves have a very similar past to the drow, to the elves and the drow, where they split off once upon a time. Adric, upon coming into contact with his distant kin, the Dwegar, it awoke something inside him, something that had been otherwise mostly dormant, as the id of the Dwarven Allfather raged out of him and into combat. And his last words before receding back within Adric's mind were, what were they? That the forge was broken and Adric needed to get it working again.
Ooh, 5 subs to viewers. Orson D. That's why we love Orson D, amongst other things. You know, what a legend.
What a guy.
Wow.
What a guy.
I'd just like to give you guys a heads up, like 4 of the people watching all went, Saturday's fine, I'll watch you anytime.
Wow.
Because they're all amazing people. Thank you so much. We love the support, and Orson, you are a gorgeous, fabulous human
MVP.
being.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Yeah, and he is. And, okay, cool. So, you are standing in the forge still, or near the forge, in the nearby cavern. What do you call that place? And there's these walls that go up in 3 tiers up to the ceiling, these massive walls around you. There's still a red haze through the smoke that's still clearing after the fight. Various fireballs went off and other things during that whole combat. Darla, why don't you tell us about where your character is at now?
Dala is a little bit lost because her brother has taken off with a bunch of the prisoners to return them to the surface.
Right.
Which is very honorable of him, but
Right.
yeah, she's happier when he's around,
That makes...
where she can see him, that he's safe. So to distract herself from worrying about him, she's sort of picking up bits of rubble and using her mending cantrip to fix little tiny bits of the forge, which makes no difference at all to anything at all, but it's keeping her busy.
All
So
right.
that's what she's. Oh, and I think she's still giant too.
Right.
I'm not. I think we decided that
She's still got like another hour and a bit.
yeah,
Right.
something like that. And she's trying not to think of what's going to happen if she doesn't shrink, because she doesn't know how long this potion is going to last.
Right, and at this point you've got no guarantee that it's not permanent either.
No, nothing. So she's making use of her height while she can,
All right.
assuming that it's not going to last forever, and doing little bits of mending up high. And
Well, while we're on that matter, why don't we get a wisdom saving throw from Darla?
oh dear.
This is mostly to see whether or not, like, is she sort of overexcited about the fact that she's in this state? Is she distracted by it? Is she? Do you know what I mean? Like, how?
Yeah,
how
that's
much
a
is it?
10.
A 10. Well, I put that in your hands. You can decide how you feel about that. I guess she's weighing up the consequences of it one way or the other, and it's starting to come down. She's starting to start thinking about what the consequences might be if this was to continue.
Yeah, maybe. I think she also she really quite enjoyed the power last week, and I think maybe she's having sort of
Guilt.
a moral kind of like, is it okay that I had so much fun smashing people?
Right. I mean, they were evil, right?
Right?
Right.
Right?
Just like those goblins, they're always evil too. And them orcs that
Yeah,
have
yep.
turned out to be not as evil as we thought they were. Anyway, right. All right, Barry. How is okay? So Ren has gone off. He's out of the picture right now. And I may even be able to fix your nameplate momentarily. But in any case, while I'm thinking about that, can you tell us about Storm and his thoughts on the situation right now?
Just while we're on the subject,
Yep.
am I rolling his stats? And can I please have his character sheet?
Yes and yes. As for having his character sheet, can you work off the PDF again this week?
I can do that. That's perfectly fine. I just don't have the PDF currently.
Okay. I'll get you that shortly.
Sweet.
Right after
Also,
I fix-
Jojo has pointed out that Ren, Nyla, and Darla all have inspiration, and then Wolfskin Witch pushed it in for a quadruple threat, and now Adric has inspiration as well. So we all have inspiration.
Wow, everyone's got inspiration. That's a good place to start.
Yeah. Shutting
right.
up now.
No, that's great. Barry, over to you.
Okay. At the moment, he's thinking, I'm free.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Then he's thinking, do I have to go with these humanoids?
Right. Fair enough. Well,
Are they useful to my cause?
right.
And he's thinking this all out and looking at them and watching them do their thing. And he's seen them fight, so he is impressed by their ability to take care of themselves.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, short answer is I don't have a Storm nameplate ready to go right now. For some reason, I thought I'd added that in, but I'm going to live without that. Can't have everything. Caitlin, let's hear about where Nyla's at.
Right. Nyla is excited because she managed to finally use her spell that stops people from flying away, and the witch did not get away, and she brought her down. And Nyla is interested in what's going on and who the Storm person is, because
Right.
he seems to be an avid fighter and also quite bestial in his tone, so she reckons he would be a good friend for Peleus. So she's hoping to bring him along and then take him back to the military front, and then hopefully he would just be a good ally. So she's excited to get to know a new friend.
Right. Fair enough. Okay. Great. Well, you guys are in the forge presently. As I said, reddish kind of light everywhere about you through the mist and haze. Broken, smashed pillars that have come collapsing down after some of the fighting. The Darrow have pretty much retreated to their hovels, those that remain, and they appear to be terrified. Can you all make perception checks?
So,
Excuse me.
I believe I have 1 point of exhaustion. What does that mean for me?
It
Memento.
does mean a certain amount of lack of...
Disadvantage on ability checks. Cool.
Right. So ability checks specifically.
So that means that Adric got a tasty 9 on that.
A tasty 9 on that perception
We
check.
love sub 10s.
Right, Adric, so you're obviously a little bit...
In a bit of a daze.
distracted, in a daze. It makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense that you would be at this point in the story. Okay.
Storm got a natural 18
Wow.
for
Yeah,
his
dude.
perception roll, and Nyla got 11.
Nyla got 11. How about Darla? We get
Ella got a 22, so potentially she's
Ooh,
just
Dallas
looking
sees
in the
everything.
looking in the right direction, maybe.
Right.
You also have like a bird's eye view right now.
True.
Darla, what you and Storm both notice is that there is, in fact, a dwarf, a normal dwarf, like a mountain dwarf, not a Dwagar, not a Darrow, a dwarf, still kind of crouching at the back of the pen, where you came out of, Storm, the pen that was where the slaves were kept earlier. And this dwarf is sitting there on his ass at the back of the pen, and he's holding up a piece of stone in front of him, and he's looking at it. Down there, and he hasn't seemed to have come out of the pit for some reason. Everybody else climbed out, but not this guy. He wants to be there.
Vala's going to call down. Hello down there, can you get out?
What?
Do you need help getting out of the
Oh,
pen?
no, I'm happy here. I'm going to live here from now on.
I beg your pardon?
Right. What?
I'm going to live here from now on. Go away.
In a pit.
Is this a pit? Why didn't
I-
somebody tell me this was a pit?
Why are you living in a pit?
What? I'm not living in a pit.
Adric! Adric!
Where am I?
Huh?
You were in a jail cell.
Could you talk to
No,
this fellow?
not possible.
Yeah.
How did
Not
you not
possible.
know it was a pit? If you look up, you can see our faces leaning over.
What? No. My name is Rathbrook. I wouldn't be in a pit. That's ridiculous.
Adric comes over after Dali yelled at him. Kinsman, you're stuck in a Dweger hole.
No. How is that
Hey.
possible?
You'll have to tell us, friend.
Oh, my head hurts.
Would you like a hand getting out of the pit, Sam?
Oh, I think that... Have you got a rope or a ladder or something?
There's
We've
a
got,
ladder
we've
to
got
your
something
left.
better. We've got a large lady here who can pick you up.
Oh, that sounds good.
Right,
Dala,
Dala?
Where are we going?
You were
Oh,
supposed to go with
kneels down
Fran.
and gives him a hand.
Okay, well, you are tall, but you're not 30 feet tall.
Oh.
All right,
Misjudged
sorry.
that.
Sorry.
There's a ladder to your left. You might as well use your legs if you can use
Oh, a
them.
ladder. I've not seen one of these for a long time. Walks over
We
to
did
the
send
ladder.
your cellmates off with a friend of ours. You could probably catch up with them unless you want to come with us.
Cellmates.
Your cellmates.
No, I don't have any cellmates. That's ridiculous. No.
You did for a moment.
He starts climbing out of the pit on the ladder.
Quite
Quite a long way up here, isn't it? Well, look. It's a pit.
He's a little unbaked
like
in the
this
middle,
guy.
isn't he?
Climbs
he's-
up over the side.
He's probably had an injury or two.
Oh, you. He looks at you, Adric. Oh,
Hey.
he starts walking around you in a circle.
You're right there.
You. I know who you are. I know who you
Aye.
are. I do. What's your name again?
Adric. Adric.
No. It's not Adric. That's not your name. You're lying.
Excuse me, Mr. Rathbrook.
Aye.
Can I just take a look at your head? And Dal's going to touch him and cast
What's
cure
wrong with-
wounds on him.
Well, oh, that feels. Ooh, it kind of tickles. Oh, very nice. Thank you. How'd you do that?
Just a little trick I learned in a temple once.
Oh, little trick. You should not be so. Well, there's a word. Carefree. No, not humble. This is divine magic.
Willy-nilly about it.
This, yes, reverence is required. Speaking of holy, divine healing.
Speaking of holy, does he have a hole in his head?
Do you?
I don't know.
You
I
walk
just-
around him, or
Yeah, I'm
check
walking
him?
around.
Okay.
So wait, so you and this guy are doing circles around Adric, just orbiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Storm doing during this whole thing?
He is hardly amused.
Hardly amused. Okay. so-
Heartily.
heartily amused. Okay,
Yeah.
so he's sort of just watching and chuckling
Yeah.
to himself,
Yeah.
which in my
to
estimation of
himself.
purring to himself.
Out
Give
of
us a
game.
Burberry.
Hold on. Let me just move the mic. I'll move it to Moss because he's purring currently.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Wow,
Nice.
that's
Wow.
real cat sounds.
He's decided that he wants to sit on my lap for now.
All right. So yeah, he's walking around you. Not Adric.
Afraid I don't know what you mean.
I've seen you before.
Have you?
Oh yes, I have.
Do I recognize this guy?
Can you make a history check?
Yes.
Generic history check encompasses actual history as well as what you can remember, at least in my sessions.
15.
15. And that's with disadvantage. You don't remember him from anywhere. He's entirely unfamiliar to you. He does have a very strange-looking kind of twist in his beard, a certain kind of fourfold knottage going on with the plaiting of his beard. It's all been plaited into this 4 strands, and then they've been plaited into one.
Free, I don't recognize you, sir. Did you live in Berrenor, Fane?
Berrenor, Fane. No, not for a long time. Not since the first Hager.
The first?
Aye. It's been more than one now, yes?
Aye, it's many more than one.
Oh. Well. What do you know? Time passes. Have you got something to eat there, Mr. What did you say?
Adric. Aye. Let me have a look through my pack.
Oh.
And I'll pull up one of our rations.
He looks
One of
back
my rations.
down into the pit. That is a pit, isn't it? You wouldn't want to go down there, would you?
How long have you been here?
Not long. No, I wouldn't say long at all.
Tyler,
Yes.
you don't happen to have a speak with dead spell currently, do you?
Let me see. I did have that prepared. I thought.
I'd just like to talk to the Barakyle wizard, if she's amenable. She seems very lordly. She might have had a title.
Right. I'm sorry, Nyla. I thought I had that prepared, but I don't seem to. No, I don't. I can't do that at the moment.
Right, okay. I'm gonna go over and chop her head off and put the head in the bag of holding.
Jesus, Caitlin!
All right, what do you use to chop her head
Okay,
off?
it works.
I'll talk to her later.
What are you going to cut her head off with?
One of the swords that has been cascaded on the ground.
All right, fair enough. There are many swords laying about, discarded in various states of repair. I'm pretty sure, Storm, you smashed some of those swords in the last episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Couple of nat ones.
Yeah, a couple of nat ones from the old Dwagar. All right. So you take her head and you put it in the bag of holding. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. I'm assuming you probably wrap
Storm
it-
is hardly impressed by this.
Okay. Very well.
What? We need to know information. Darla can't talk to her right now, so we might as well put her in stasis, and I don't want to drag the whole bloody body.
Now-
Yeah, quite right.
Storm, can I get you to make a history check, please?
I will. History check.
I don't have the PDF in front of me, but that's a 16.
It's a 16.
I'll pull him up, Caitlin. Storm.
Shut down Ren.
It's a 16 on the dice roll plus whatever he has for history.
All right.
History is a intelligence skill, so if he's a ranger, is likely more wisdom, so probably not super high on intelligence, but we shall see very shortly. Once
Yeah, I don't think he's got any bonuses in intelligence. So 16
Oh, he
anyway
hasn't.
is,
He's
is
zero.
good enough for me. And Storm, you've been in this cage for, well, you don't know how many days or weeks because you don't see the sun down here in the Underdark. However, it's been many meals and many sleeps you've been down here now. And if you had to guess, it would be like something like a few weeks that you might have been in this pen with these others who have now left. And this guy who's just turned up, this dwarf, you don't think you've seen him before.
If you've been here for that long,
No, I have not been here at all for any time.
how come it is that I have been here for many weeks and I have not seen you?
He turns around to you. Oh, you are a very big cat person. I have not seen you either. Perhaps, well, I don't know. I've not been here long. A few minutes, I would say.
Where were you before?
Oh, I don't remember. I remember darkness. Lots of darkness. Aye, there was darkness. Before that, there was light. Before that, there was darkness. Light, darkness, darkness, light, light, back. Yes. Revolving like a cycle for a long time. Centuries. Perhaps all of eternity. Couldn't say. A long time. How about you? Have you seen the light?
We were above ground not too long ago.
Oh,
A few days.
above the ground.
Aye, in
It's
Stariel.
dangerous up there.
Can
I
you
use my
safer done, yeah.
primeval. What do they call it? Primeval senses?
Primeval awareness.
Primeval
Yeah, primeval
awareness.
awareness. Is there anything weird about him, such as, is he what he is?
Is he an aberration, a celestial, a dragon, an elemental, fae, fiend, or undead?
He is one of those things.
Because he can't tell us which one. He doesn't have to tell us which one.
No, he doesn't. You can just tell that one of those things is in the area up to a mile of you, or 6 miles if you're in your favourite terrain, and you are in your favourite
Right.
terrain.
So within 6 miles of you, there is one of those things.
Well,
Interesting.
Kinsman, we're making our way towards Berrenor Fane. You're quite welcome to join us if you'd like.
Berrenor Fane. Ooh. That's where everyone went after the first Hagra.
Aye. Well, it's where we've all begun to congregate. Very few of our strongholds are alive and working.
Oh, well. You wouldn't want to tell Moradin about that, would you?
Well,
Suspect he'd get very angry if he were to find out that his people were diminishing.
I wager he's not too phased.
Aye. Aye.
What was the name of the place Storm months ago again?
Abnog.
Abnog.
beg your pardon?
Ah, ooh, you, very big. Even bigger than the cat.
Yes, I suppose I am. What is the Hagar?
Are you a giant?
She's an elf.
Not normally.
She's just had a bit of a potion.
You look like a giant who's had their ears stretched out. And
Yes.
although you're not a hill giant, I can tell you that. What was the question?
I'm curious what the Hagar is.
Oh, the Hagra.
Hagar, yes.
Aye. Oh, well. I'm sure your friend here can tell you all about that. I don't remember. Oh, my head hurts.
You're aware of how I told you our people were diminishing. Babies being
Yes,
born
actually.
stone, very few dwarves growing up. Well, due to incursions from Dweger, Drow, other worse things from beneath the earth, we have begun to congregate in our cities, abandoning old ones. Berrenor Fane is my home now, but I left my family and I left another city prior to that. So
Was it Uthdark's Hold?
I'm checking now. Michael's checking because he didn't expect this to come up.
Right. To be fair, I wasn't expecting it to
Right.
come up either. Not so.
Russell,
Yes.
this Rafbrook, is there anything about his attire that would suggest he's out of this time?
Can you make an investigation check, please?
I can.
I will say that Dalla probably looked slightly abashed when Adric was
13.
explaining about the stone babies again.
Right. With a 13, you. It's hard to say. I mean, you're Nyla. You're not only from a different world to begin with. You come from the Feywild.
Yeah, that's fair.
So dwarves there already look different, and now you're dealing with Sidariel dwarves, above ground, underground. There's different cities, different tribes, different clans, and so on. So it's really hard to tell.
That's fair.
Yeah, Darkhold would be where Adric's from.
Rafbrook,
Ah, yeah. Aye.
what's the last thing you remember?
Oh, the last thing I remember, I told you darkness. And before
before-
that, there was light.
Right.
When did you become aware of being in the pit that
Sands of creation. Ooh, it's like falling through a soup.
Right, let's take you with us. We'll get you situated around some other dwarves and maybe you'll remember something else. Edric, put a leash on your pet. Let's go.
Okay.
Which one's the pet? Rathbrook or Storm?
Rathbrook.
Just check.
Oh, not you.
Does
The other
anybody
dwarf.
Hey, Vancouver by night, welcome.
does anybody
Yay, Canada.
know where Abnolgur is and which way to go?
Pretty sure that's the way we have to pass through, so this way.
Vaguely, it's. And Adric pulls out the map. We are making our way along that way, vaguely. This isn't one-to-one, I'm afraid. We're making our way
I tried
towards-
to add notes, so it should be a little bit easier to follow.
towards Berrenor Fane. Now that we're here, it should be a fairly straight shot for us. But Abnolgur, it's quite a ways away. And the bridge to go back isn't so good.
Right. Okay. Well, we're going to probably have to circle back around there
That
eventually.
way,
No, that
Abnolgur.
that way.
That way.
Yes,
And you were going
that way.
that way?
Aye.
Adric, can you make a... I guess this is going to be a history check too.
Is this a stone thingy check, or is it just history?
It's history. It's
Okay.
It's more to do with the routes. Your knowledge of the Underdark, pretty much, is what this is
No,
about.
good. That's a
Oh,
10.
10. Okay. Never mind.
Fuck, guidance. My mic was muted.
Guidance. Oh, you can give him guidance.
Okay, I'll add D4 to my 10.
Yeah. Get a 14.
That's a 14.
Hey!
Hey.
Yay!
All right, then I take that back.
Also,
Yes, Storm.
I make a circle on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Make some arrows going what I think would be roughly east and west.
Yeah.
Put out a mat and start to pray.
Okay. Very good. While you're doing that, so Adric, what you realize, you think that there might be another way back through to Abnolgur if you can. I mean, you've never been there, and the city's been lost for a very, very long time. The map that you've got is the only route that you've ever seen to that city. It's a legend that it's been lost to time. So the fact that it actually exists has been quite a surprise to you. However, you think there might be another way back. If you were to get to Berrenor Fane, you could then take the road to Mordip Keep, and that would bring you closer to the so-called location of Abnolgur afterwards. Obviously, you know, all this talk of Abnolgur is bringing up memories of Zin as well.
And I do miss my adopted son. And we can, going through to Berrenor Fane, it's a bit circuitous, but we could go around from there to Abnolgur. It's a bit out of the way, but it's a safer way.
Okay. While he's doing that, I'm asking my gods which way I should go.
All right. Well, in usual godlike fashion, they answer you with a breath of fresh air from the opening of the cavern at one end that moves past your fur, and you feel a sense of perhaps trust in these individuals.
I look at them.
Do you want to make an insight check on each of them? Let's get 3 insight checks. One for Adric, and these are you inciting these characters, not inciting them, but doing insight.
Yeah, trying to figure out.
Yes.
What I
Otherwise,
think,
you might
yeah.
incite violence upon them, and that's not what we want. So I suppose.
That's an 18
Okay.
for the first one,
All right.
a 12 for the next one, and an 18 for the other one.
All right. Well, you're not so sure about Darla, but as for Adric and Nyla, those 2 players can tell you what their general demeanor is towards Storm at the moment, please.
Nyla is very fascinated by this cat-like creature that she's not come across.
Mm-hmm.
She sees him as a potential ally, and she's fairly straightforward and open with him. She hasn't said any lies.
All right.
Adric, I think what Storm gets from him is that a great sense of fatigue from Adric, but he's definitely non-threatening. His hands aren't anywhere near his weapons. His stance is quite open and relaxed. So there's a definite veneer of trust, and someone who's generally non-threatening.
Right. I mean, Darla, you can give us some insight too if you want into your character, although you might take it with a grain of salt, Storm.
Dalla's a little bit slow to warm up to new characters anyway. She tends to wait till she's experienced some time with them.
Right.
Yeah.
And she has seen the ferocious severity of his attacks upon
Yeah.
the Dwager.
He might possibly get a whiff of privilege from her.
Right. That might make sense. Okay.
You're quite welcome to come with us, and we can make a plan once we get to Berrenor Fane for you. At the very least, get you out of those that slave garb and into some better dwarven gear.
All right. We will make it so.
Before we go, Russell, can
Yeah.
I loot the corpse of the war captain? I forget what how they were actually called.
Right. You're talking about the yeah. I know who you're talking about. The
one
warlord.
with the
He was
plume thingy.
the plumed helmet.
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay. What are you looking for? Anything in particular? Just looting him generally and such.
Generally, but I'm also just interested to see if he's got any because I don't know if it's a man or a woman. If they've got anything linking them to the forge, an interesting weapon, documents, things like that.
Right. He does have obviously weapons. The weapons are very much of Dwager quality and type. Not of great interest to you. What you will notice is you've not met too many Dwager, right?
No,
And
mostly through combat more than anything else.
Right. And so now you're actually examining their armor and weapons. You notice that it's sturdy enough.
It's very utilitarian.
It's utilitarian, and it doesn't have any real flair to it. I mean, even the plume on his helmet is designed to represent his rank. It's not there to be pretty or otherwise very even impressive, to any great extent. It does the most basic purpose. Yeah. You do find 35 electrum pieces minted in the name of King Ivran Erethanai.
Oh, that's interesting. Dalla, have a look at this. You've got electrum from Ivran.
Oh, on a Dwager.
Hey.
Oh, that is troubling.
Is
Looks
it
like
money?
there's it's a bit of money. It looks like there's a bit of
You find some other currencies on him as well, but that was the particularly interesting one.
Right.
potentially there's a bit of a connection between what's going on beneath the ground, the wizards, and Ivran, maybe.
Potentially, or they have looted somewhere that had these coins.
Yeah, I mean, what you
Perhaps.
know, Darla, is that in Highbrook these are called Highbrook marks, or just brook marks sometimes. And electrum pieces is the usual currency in Highbrook, among the High Elves particularly.
Right. How close is this place to Highbrook?
Well, if you recall that you came through this general direction once before through the Underdark and you passed the Underlock, you've made your way out to a small town near the banks of the lake, the Lockhart Lake, which is about 3 or 4 days' march from Highbrook, on the surface. So if you were to, and you do know the route to the surface from here,
Right.
but you suspect, I mean, Adric, you would know if, I mean, you're obviously not reading her mind, but if you were having this sort of stream of consciousness, Adric would realize that there are also closer exits to Highbrook than here, through the Underdark. But of course, if you go through the Underdark, you're looking at, dealing with more Dwagar and possibly Drow or any other number of Underdark type incidences, creatures and monsters. And if you go across the surface, you're going to be dealing with black guards.
Correct.
So it's 6 one, half a dozen the other. How you want to go? Really, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care.
Okay.
All the ways.
So, had the Electrum any documents or anything on them?
Any documents? I don't think he's got any documents on paper, at least, but he does have a metal plate, a rectangular metal tablet that has Undercommon written into it. It's like stamped into the back of it so that it comes out the front. It has a sort of bumpy, like Braille would be, if that makes sense. You speak Undercommon, is that right? So
Yep.
you can read and write it. Basically, he's been sent here on orders from his master, who is another warlord of similar kind of stature, from a Dwagar stronghold south of here, in order to work with this individual named Lavinia Diomedes, the Red Abjurer.
Okay. And I'll be like relaying this to everybody around me just as I'm reading it.
All right.
I'm gonna go check the wizard's pockets. See
I mean,
anything.
we may as well while we're here because we'll be needing to make tracks really soon.
Anything exciting in the wizard's pockets?
The wizard's pockets. Okay, well, I can actually give you something a little bit useful, perhaps, but you will have to give me a few seconds to grab my.
That's perfectly fine. I hope Ren's okay. We've not been around him for 5 minutes.
I'm sure he's crawling out of the arsehole of something really now that he's out of our sight.
He's probably been eaten alive already.
Oh, I do hope he's all right.
He'll be fine.
He pats her calf. I'm sure he's fine. Speaking of fine, how do you like it? It's fun, isn't it?
Yes, I did enjoy it in battle. How long does it usually last, Adric?
For me, a minute. But I don't know about the portions I had a few months ago. Were similar in nature, but they really didn't last too long. I don't know about this one. It's taking its time.
Sure is.
But
I don't know if my past spell trace can cover that.
Nyla, on the wizard, you find, first of all, a spell book.
Ooh.
You find a bag of holding, which you know is a bag of holding because you open it up and you cannot see the inside of it. It has the same. You open it up and basically you're seeing stars. Right.
Cool. I don't know what's in the bag of holding either.
You don't know what's in there, and the problem with bags of holding in this particular scenario in Sidariel under the command of Dungeon Master Russell Kirkby is that you have to name your shit when you put it into a bag of holding.
I'm aware. That's why I'm not.
thusly-
It's like I don't know what's in it. The
thusly-
spellbook doesn't have a ledger on it, does it? By any chance?
Oh, well, you want to do an investigation check on that spellbook.
I would like to.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
You better, because you rolled a 6. Okay, 16. You do find a list, but the problem with this list is it's been written in a cipher made up by this wizard. Now, to break that cipher might take a few hours to a few days to a few years, depending on how difficult it is. You're not sure.
It's a challenge I am going to accept.
You accept the challenge.
Yeah. Can I just stick my hand in the bag of holding and just say, currency?
Currency. No. Nothing.
well,
What were the coins that you found before, Michael?
some Electrum.
Electrum!
One moment. While I double check a thing.
They were also Highbrook marks. If you need to ask more specifically.
Brook marks. Hey!
a pile of electrum pieces stack up on your hand.
My God.
There's about
Whoa.
200 of them.
Good.
Good
work,
heavens.
Electrum.
It comes
Puts it back in.
pouring out of. You put it back in the bag.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They just dissipate down into the bag. They drop off and fall away into the galaxy's worth of space in there.
I've named it Electrum so I can bring it back when it's... Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, we could, when we are resting, we can ask the head if she's got anything good inside there.
Yeah.
Right. I wonder if this is a sign, because I was thinking about Highbrook.
She also had a staff.
Ooh, what kind of staff is it?
Well, it's a long metallic metal rod-like staff.
Can I detect? I don't have detect magic currently. God damn it.
Bring
I
it with
will-
us. We'll have a look. We'll have a good look at it later.
Mystery staff. Into the bag of holding.
Mystery staff. If you're in the audience and you would like to, you feel you have your own inspiration for what might be found in a Red Abjurer's bag of holding, feel free to put it in chat, and I'll take that
Ooh.
as my own inspiration.
I got inspiration again for taking the head earlier.
Oh, nice.
Good idea.
Thank you.
Nice.
Alright,
what-
well I think we've gotten everything we can get out of here.
Aye.
Shall we go?
What was the other dwarf's name again?
Ravbrook.
Rathbrook.
Rathbrook.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's currently standing over by the wall, looking at this this sort of burn marks on the side of the building there. Oh.
Rathbrook.
Oh.
We're going to be making our way. If you're planning on coming with us.
I'm not Rathbrook.
Who? What was your name?
Me, Wiggins.
Aye. Okay, Wiggins. Wiggins, we'll be going
Who's
to be making
Rathbrook?
I must have had you confused with some other dwarf.
How do you know Rathbrook?
Who
It's
is
a fairly
Rathbrook?
common name.
Is it?
Aye.
Oh, I thought I was the first one.
I thought your name was Wiggins.
Yeah, you caught me there.
So your name is Rathbrook.
You're very sneaky, aren't you?
No,
Nyla?
just observant. I also haven't told you my name yet.
What? What? What is your name?
Nyla.
Oh. How did I know that? Must
I
have
know
heard
Wiggins. How did you know?
Must have heard it from somewhere.
Alright, come
Perhaps
on.
you were
Let's-
talking to each other and I heard it. And I don't know.
Chance.
Like I said, Edric, put a leash on him and let's go.
Right.
We're going to be making our way to Berrenor Fane. You coming with us, or are you going to make your own way?
Oh no, I'm going to make my own way. I'm going
Sure.
that way, and he points towards Berrenor Fane.
Marvelous. We'll. I hope
Why
you
don't we
mind that we'll
share the
travel
road?
with- Aye, that's more or less where we're going to.
Oh, you don't mind sharing the road?
Not at all.
Oh, well. As long as there's enough room. I wouldn't want to get in your way or anything.
Oh,
Well, I'm not sure with Dollar there, but I'm pretty sure you can ride with Edric.
I'll do my best not to step on anyone.
All
I
right.
know the feeling. And off we fuck.
And off they fucked. Right.
Right.
Very
you coming,
nice.
Storm? I'll take that as a yes.
All right. So everybody kind of starts heading up and out through the forge. And
Pass without trace.
Thank you.
stealth checks then, please.
Haha, I can't get double disadvantage because I already have it.
Right. But you also...
Should
18
18?
should
and
I roll?
21 for... Oh, sorry. 27 for Storm.
27 for Storm. Wow. Crikey Dick. Storm is a shadow storm.
He
All
gets
right.
plus 6 to stealth.
Should I roll with disadvantage or just a regular roll?
I think you should roll with disadvantage. I really like that idea.
But you still get plus 10, so it's fine.
Joe, why are you so honest?
You still get plus 10.
Right?
Yeah.
Just
So it's-
27.
Oh my god.
Yay!
How does a giant cleric wearing full plate armor roll a 27 stealth?
Magic.
Pass
Is she
without
crawling?
trace.
I don't know.
No, she's just walking normally, but Nyla's sitting on her shoulder.
Aw, nice.
Okay. Well, as you head up through the forge gate and out of the forge, and you are led up these big, huge, wide stone steps, and off to your right, they just drop away into the main chamber that you've been moving through. You notice up this end of the chamber, now that you've moved up a bit, because most of your dark vision is only about 60 feet. And as you get closer to the other end of the chamber, you see there are a number of huge statues inset into the walls like bas-relief. And most of these statues, Adric, you will recognize immediately as the Morden Saman, the gods of the dwarven pantheon. But they have strange characteristics, which for you as a dwarf, you kind of understand a little bit about why, because the dwarves also revere the giant pantheon. And this is kind of strange mixture where this particular group have tried to turn these gods into each other, where they are almost one and the same. Like Anam has been kind of his theurgic image is that of Moradin. And they replicate each other. They are each other. It's like Moradin is Anam in this particular design. And out of all of these gods here, you notice one of them in particular has had his head smashed off. And its head sits at its feet. Memnor.
Does Dala register any of this, or does she know any of this?
You can make a religion check, please, Dala. You can have advantage because you are a cleric.
Oh, why, thank you.
And you also speak giant, so you must know some of this.
She speaks giant?
Yeah.
She does.
Nice.
16.
Jojo said, pass without trace. The spell of hatred for DMs everywhere.
And I can do it at will.
At will.
And it doesn't take up a spell slot.
Just because I let you have that staff.
To be fair, you let me have the staff before you knew what it was.
Yeah. What a fool. Okay, religion check 16 with advantage. Very nice. Yeah, you pretty much get most of that stuff too. You might not have as much reverence for these deities as Adric does, but you understand who they are.
Right.
And we have to pass through this hall to keep going forward?
You're passing up and out of this hall right now, and
Okay.
you're moving up around the wall of it on the left-hand side of this hall, until you get to an archway that leads you to a platform beyond. And you can make perception checks here.
One of those would have been Berrenor True Silver, do you suppose?
26
Hey,
for Nyla,
That one to the left of Moradin.
19 for Storm.
19 for Storm.
Yeah, and 26 for Nyla for Perception.
All right.
11 for Adric.
Yep.
Jojo, don't give him ideas.
23 for Dala.
23 for Dala. Okay. Well, Adric, you're clearly exhausted from your exhaustion from your fight earlier. So you don't really pick up on anything, but everybody else, you can hear the sounds of a raging river ahead through this next set of caverns.
Right, more water then. And we don't have a boat.
No, we don't.
Why would we need a boat?
Can you
Aye,
ask
aye.
her the river?
Why would you need a boat for?
There's a river up ahead.
Oh, well, where there are rivers, there are forges. Ha! And also bridges. Bridges. Rivers and bridges, yes.
Right.
How did you do to your Wiggins?
Well, we'll
Wiggins. Who's
go down
Wiggins?
that bridge, so to speak, once we get there.
Rathbrook.
Right.
Oh, Rathbrook. Now that's a familiar name.
Do you know?
He's got a few screw looses, doesn't he?
I suppose he has.
It's,
Perhaps.
just, it's like all crusty on the outside and uncooked in the middle.
What are you talking about me? I'm right here, you know.
I'm talking about Wiggins.
Oh, yes, Wiggins. Oh, he's off his head.
Right. Okay. Yes, I was just going to say it's interesting that those statues, they seem to meld the dwarven gods with the giant gods.
There is a degree of reverence between the two pantheons from dwarves, but it's uncommon to see them melded the way that they are here.
Right. It reminded me of something I read in the Feywild in the library. And yes, there was something about the gods and how, well, there's a god for war in most um, groups of gods.
Right.
It seems that there's one source of energy for all of them, and then they split off into various, I suppose, branches or facets. Anyway, it was interesting to see them.
So,
Adric-
like, all the
portrayed-
gods are one god, but
Adric,
interpreted
can-
differently from different cultures.
Perhaps something like that.
That's the gist of it. Adric, can you make a stone cutting test check, please? Thingy.
Certainly.
One of those. Yes.
Don't really buy into all the religious bullshit.
You say
that's
that
15.
now when Darla's not healing you.
I thought you don't believe in healing. That's 15 for Edric.
A 15 for Adric.
For all I know, she's putting like a salve on it and it's just killing the pain.
Adric,
And I'm just going and still injured.
yeah, that's what it is. Adric,
Or Dalar is innately magical and she's just convinced herself that a very spooky person in the sky has given it to her.
right,
This being said by Nyla, who's actually had a conversation with a god.
right.
Dala can be seen visibly counting to 10.
Adric, finally, I'm going to tell you something. Adric, you notice also that there are two styles of carving on those forms. Two groups of people made them. It's as if you would guess that at some point in the distant past, the giants may well have carved them themselves, and then the dwarves have come along and recarved them over them. Like reshaped them, put new faces on them, but not entirely. They've taken great inspiration from the original carvings that were there, and they've just added a few details.
That's interesting. I think as we're making our way through, he's going to just be pausing by each statue and admiring the stonework, and just jabbering this away at everybody, whether they listen or not. It's up to them.
Dala's listening intently.
So's Wiggins.
Nyla's watching Wiggins and Storm.
You see, Nyla, can you make an insight check, please?
I would love to. 15. I'm rolling like shite.
15. That's not terrible. What are you saying?
I have a +7.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty shit. All right.
Bollocks for you, actually.
Fair enough. But what you do notice is that Rathbrook, Wiggins, whatever he calls himself, he's definitely keeping an eye on Adric. Like you see him he's got one eye on Adric all the time. Like he's constantly just watching him.
Okay.
All right. Now, Barry, were you going to say something a little bit earlier when I rudely interrupted you because I was getting frustrated because I was trying to tell Michael something?
He's busy watching Wiggins.
All right. So you're keeping an eye on Wiggins, keeping an eye on Adric, keeping an eye
Wiggins
on...
doesn't smell right to him.
Okay.
He's giving you the Wiggins.
Yes. That's...
Fair call. All
You
right.
can't give me that name, Russell, and not expect me to do anything with it.
I fully expect you to do something with it. All right. So you continue forward, and you get to a great chamber beyond where, basically, more halls, giant halls, basically ahead of you. Collapsed tunnels branch off from the main hall that is then beyond. Come on, camera, focus. There we go.
Focus.
Hocus pocus focus. Okay.
Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out, and I'm excited.
There is a river running through this great chamber that was once some sort of gallery with like 3 or 4 levels going up and archways on either side. More statues peering down from above. You made perception checks earlier. Goodale, you also hear the sounds of something flapping around high up amongst the in the dark, beyond your dark vision. Lower down, the river passes through here, as mentioned, and you hear this sound come from the far end of the hall, beyond your dark vision.
I don't like the sounds that I'm hearing.
What are you hearing?
Something flapping and something that sounded vaguely like a cow.
Maybe it's a bat cow.
Maybe it's a sea cow.
Sea cow,
Yes, if we go closer, maybe we'll see it.
Nice.
perhaps.
Sea cow. Sea cow.
Maybe you
and
should
eat it.
seek it out.
Oh, you guys all lose your inspiration.
Oh no!
And gain a fridge!
Right.
Now, don't be frigid.
This is just
I
getting
guess
worse.
we're making our way forward now.
All right, making your way forward. Okay, so you head on forward and moving through this chamber. It's very dim light. There are a couple of places where there is actually the tiniest bit of light coming through shafts from the ceiling, which must be cracks that go perhaps all the way to the surface. Who knows? But they certainly would be very difficult to get to. As you move across the room, dust and dirt shifts, and there's sheets of it come down from the ceiling, breaking up the light. You're finding yourselves covered in white dust the further you move through, until you get to the river. The river's moving quite quickly through here. It seems to have ripped its way out of the far wall and is just coming down in a torrent through the center of this room and then off to the other side. And you see that there is a makeshift bridge that has been built here. Looks like it's Dwagar construction to you, Adric. Looks like it's sturdy enough, but it's not at all pretty. Your family would be absolutely disgraced by this level of craftsmanship.
Adric's pretty disgraced having to walk on it.
Right. And so I assume you cross the bridge, do you?
I think it looks a bit rickety. Shall we do one at a
Oh.
time?
No, it should be fine. Dwager, the work isn't. It doesn't look good, but it's as good as anything else.
Right, Dala, you go last.
Fair.
That's fair call. Yes.
Adric's gonna go across first.
Storm, where do you take? What position do you take?
I'll follow Edric over after he's gone.
Right, Adric, can you make a dexterity saving throw, please?
Son of
Guidance.
Too late for guidance.
Back.
That's okay. It's a 19.
Okay.
19. Is that with or without
It's just ability checks, not saving throws.
just ability checks? I see. Okay. Very good. 19. Very well. Some of the stones fall away loose beneath your feet, and you hear them splash down into the river about 30, 40 feet below.
Careful, it's been here for some time.
Oh, so we should have been careful with the bridge.
Well, that's why I went across first.
Adric, can you make an investigation check, please?
Certainly.
Nyla rolls her eyes.
That's an 18.
Jesus. With disadvantage.
It would have been a nat 20 otherwise.
Well, what you do notice is that you're pretty convinced that the Dwagar built this like this as a trap. That was supposed
shit.
to happen.
I actually, on second, on closer inspection, this bridge is a trap.
Oh no.
Nyla takes a deep breath. Right, okay.
Naila, can you stop the water like you did before?
No,
Okay.
I'm tired.
Well, that's fair.
I
Darla,
haven't rested since we did that last battle. I have nothing.
Darla, can you throw Nyla and Wiggins across?
I could give it a go.
Do
It's-
him first.
Well-
He's
Are you talking about
expendable.
across the gap or across the river? Because you won't be able to throw them across the river. That's not on. That's not going to happen.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize how big. How did you say how wide the river was?
I did not say, but I did mention there was a bridge over it, so it was big enough for a bridge.
Right.
Fair.
Dalla's looking down at the water and she's sort of assessing the situation, trying to figure out if she can see how deep it is.
How wide is the river?
The river is about 60 feet wide.
Okay.
There are
Right.
probably narrower points on the river, further up, but the banks look quite slippery
Storm's
too.
looking for narrower points.
Okay. Well, you got 60-foot dark vision, so you can't see that far.
Okay.
Adric has 120.
Okay.
If I were to cast a cone of cold across it,
Yes, it
Would
would,
it
be
f-
it would be a cold bridge.
would it freeze the water?
Would it freeze the water?
The water's probably running too fast for it to do anything exciting, because the spell that I have is a cantrip, so it'll probably do fuck it all.
Yeah, I would say it would do fuck
Yeah.
all. I mean, you've got, what was it you used the other time and a couple of episodes back?
Control water.
Control water.
I mean, that
If
would,
I had a 4th level spell slot, that would be really helpful. Shall we have a rest, guys? Let's.
All right.
With Adric in the middle of the thing.
It'll be fine.
Can
You'll be alright to sleep out there, eh?
Perfectly fine.
can one go down the side of the river? You know, go.
welcome, Steffi Roar. Is that how you say that? Thank you for following. Barry.
Can one go down on my side of the river? Can I go down the river to see if any other tracks say that they've crossed here?
Right. Can you make a survival check, please?
I will.
Yes.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Watch as Caitlin makes the survival check.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caitlin. Mad Girl Charlie is here. For the
That's
amount
cocked.
of bridges and chasms they come across, you'd think they'd be pros at this. Well, that's true.
Survival.
So,
you get
I-
plus
I-
3. 15.
15. Okay.
Steffi Raw just followed because I totally vibed the 4th level hotspot. I need a nap.
Right. Barry, what
Yes.
Storm notices is that there are hoof prints in the mud on the side of the river. Lots of them. Lots of them. Like a whole herd of something.
Over here, hoof prints, many of them.
They run up and
Cross
down the
prints.
side of the river, you discover.
They run up. Yep. Okay.
Do they look like anything we've
That
seen
means
before?
they didn't cross?
That means they might have crossed, but not here.
Okay.
Right. Are they horse hooves?
I follow the prints. Keep following the prints.
Okay, they do not look like horse hooves. They are bigger, wider, and heavier than horses. Adric, would you like to make a survival check, please?
Certainly.
If we just do a short rest, I can turn into a bird and fly us across. Because I can do that now.
Fly
13.
you all across?
I can
As a
turn into a
bird?
giant eagle at level 8.
Giant eagle? How big do you think a giant eagle is?
Let's find out.
13.
Do these-
Survival
do these-
check 13. Yeah, you've heard of this beast called a Roth.
Giant winged cow?
They are not winged, they're just giant.
Right.
They're like a bison.
Like a bison, yeah.
Like a bison.
And they're like underdark,
Under cattle.
under cattle, yeah.
I keep
Undercat.
following
I like
the
that.
tracks because
All
they
right.
must have crossed at some point.
Well, as you follow the tracks, the river gets wider until you get to the end of the chasm, and then it becomes a tunnel. The bison creatures seem to have moved even further down there, and beyond that, you see that there is another cavern beyond there that opens up, and it is the biggest underground space you have been in before Storm. That being said, it's not as big as the Underlock space,
Okay.
which Storm has not been to, so
Okay.
you don't know about that.
All right. So, I will follow it as far as I can.
Okay. So you just keep going?
Yep.
All right. What is everybody else doing while Storm wanders off?
Adric's staying where he is.
On the
I'm
bridge?
having a rest. I'm sitting down and I'm having a rest.
Okay, so Nyla's having a rest. Where are you resting, Nyla?
On the edge of the bridge.
Right,
Just gonna...
right by the bridge or on the bridge?
By the bridge. I'm not on the bridge. I'm not silly.
Okay.
Also, a giant eagle is classified as a large magical beast.
A large magical
They,
beast with a strength of what?
Strength is 18. Dexterity 17, Constitution 12, Intelligence 10,
That's
Wisdom 14, Charisma.
That's a chungus bird. That's a Lord of the Rings eagle.
That is a
Yeah.
pretty big bird. I'll give you that. I don't think it would carry all of you at once, but I would let you
It
carry
weighs about
one
500
person.
pounds and has a wingspan of up to 20 feet.
What other
And is
animals?
about 10 feet tall.
What animal weighs 500 pounds?
That's what, 250 kilos?
A typical giant eagle stands about 10 feet tall, has a wingspan of up to 20 feet, and resembles its smaller cousins in the nearby way except size. It weighs about 500 pounds. A giant eagle can be common in Orion.
Detail to add about a bird.
So it's about the size of a hippo, actually. That's a 500-pound creature.
It's a giant eagle.
Or
I would trust a hippo-sized bird to carry me.
I think it would carry a person,
Yeah.
but I don't reckon it would carry like the entire Lord of the Rings crew.
I can fly back and forth. I don't have to do one
Yeah.
trip.
I agree. That's not a problem. I'm not disagreeing with you there. Now
I
my
only
guess-
need a short rest to get my wild shapes back.
Okay, so I guess we're all just taking a quick short rest.
so my next question is: have you seen a giant eagle?
Probably.
Because I'm pretty sure you have to have seen the creatures that you're going to wild shape into. Probably in the Feywild, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We can reskin it as like a fey bird.
I'm happy with a giant eagle. That's fine.
It's a giant peacock.
Shut up, Adric. You just stay out of this. God damn.
It's like a fantail.
All right.
That's quite
My
cute.
gosh.
Anyway, yeah.
So
Do I
Nyla,
get-
you can turn into a giant eagle. Yes.
Do I get to a spot where they crossed?
You get to a spot where you see a large herd of these creatures hanging out by the river, drinking from it. They do not seem to have crossed here. Maybe even further beyond, or maybe they're looking for a place to cross themselves, but there is literally about 60 of them. And it's not a large herd by herd standards, but it's a large herd by your standards.
Large herd by Underdark standards, I reckon.
Right, I think so too. And can you make a perception check, please, Ren? Not Ren, Storm.
Yep. I will.
A Storm by any other name is a Ren.
Dalla's moved away from Nyla and Adric, just as far as her dark vision will allow, so that she can still see them. And she's trying to keep an eye on Storm as well.
Okay.
Storm, where are you going?
No. Nowhere. He turns around, comes back.
Wait a minute, you're making a perception check
Oh, am
before you run off.
Natural 9. I'm rolling really good with my normal dice and really shitly with the online dice.
Right.
So Storm's rolling amazing. What was it perception?
Yep.
22.
22, Storm.
God.
Natural 19.
As you're standing there, Storm, observing these creatures, and I'm waiting for my camera to get some focus, you see that there is a small calf that's looking at you, and it's broken off from the herd, and it's standing in the dark by itself closer to the cavern wall, where it seems to be licking salt off the wall or something like that. And it's turned and it's looking at you, and you see its front legs start pouring the mud.
Okay. He backs back slowly.
Okay. Would you like to make a yeah?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
stealthily trying to.
All right. I would like a
Ski.
animal handling check from Storm.
Okay.
Come on, Ranger boy.
15. He doesn't have any stats to add to animal handling.
Okay.
Just a straight 15.
Straight 15. All right. It stops pouring the earth by the time you get back out of its vision. or its senses at least. You don't know whether it has dark vision or it's got heightened smell senses or
Yeah.
how it
Yeah.
perceives the world, but you move beyond its radius and it stops. It's not following you or anything like that, and you are able to return to the group now.
Yeah, I make my way back to the others.
Okay. You return to the bridge.
Much meat down there.
What?
Me.
Much meat down there.
Meat.
Meat.
That's what I said, meat. What kind of meat?
Hi, what kind of meat?
Like
Dead
cow?
meat? Alive meat?
Like cow. Similar.
I think
Same.
we're alright for food currently.
But what would cattle be doing underground?
That's a good question.
The same thing elves are doing underground, surviving. He's yelling from across the chasm.
Right.
Storm looks at the end of the bridge and looks for tracks around the bridge area.
Wolfskin Witch says KFC meat. You're looking for tracks around the bridge area.
Yeah.
There are tracks, certainly tracks, yes. There are even cart tracks.
Crunchy meat, but don't eat the baby meat. Eat the adult meat. The baby meat still has life to live. From Zephyr
Steph.
Raw.
Fair enough.
Y'all eat lamb?
Now,
That's baby meat.
it might be a good time here to pause for a second and hand over to Michael so he can talk about Sirenscape.
Well, guys, as you probably have noticed with the music, the ambience that's happening right now, there's a bit of water, there's a drone because we're in the Underdark. We are using Sirenscape. It's it's not free, but has a free service that lets us use this for our games. And the only caveat to that is that we have to mention that we are using Sirenscape legally. Otherwise, they will break down my doors and drag me away to the music mines to mine music from the music walls.
That's right.
Yeah, and thus I've staved away the music miners for another day.
It's happened before, you know.
It has. How do you think I lost my hair? They used me as a battering ram to bring the walls down.
That's
Terrible.
right. Well, they mined the music. Mind the music.
That's a bold-faced lie, and you know it.
Oh, Caitlin.
How did you know, though? Like, how did you figure it out?
I love you, Michael. I'm sorry.
Good. Okay. Anyway.
We
Yeah,
are taking your logic and going with it. That is sound logic.
You're yes
Sound
anding.
And no, the logic was that I said that lamb was baby meat, and they got mad at me for bringing that up.
Oh, I see. I just looked at the chat now. Brilliant.
All right,
I'm
so
an
you
asshole.
are by
Welcome
this
to the
bridge.
stream.
Adric is sitting on the bridge. Everybody else is near the bridge. Dala, your giant potion is beginning to wear off.
Did I? Sorry, Russell. Did I get to the other end of the bridge, or am I in the middle of on like a thing that's joining two section of bridges?
You're on a thing that's joining two sections of bridges.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
We just left Patrick in the middle of a broken bridge.
It's not broken. It's a trap.
Right.
I've been in worse places.
That's true. He has been in worse places. Like Dala's family's house.
100 feet in the air in the clutches of a dragon.
Yeah, also there as well. Yeah. Adric Ilgarax's Bane, Fogdar.
Which was worse? Dinner at
Your
Dala's
your
or
parents' house. 100%.
Right. Okay, so Storm, you're now by the bridge too, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you've noticed that there are tracks certainly going across the bridge. This bridge is not impassable. What you can do is make an investigation check if you like.
I will.
I hate you, Barry. 15.
15. 15.
I
okay.
don't hate you. I'm just rolling really well on my hand dice.
What you realize is now that you know that there is a trap is obviously whoever crosses this bridge just has to be aware of where the traps are. If there are more than one or not, you don't know, but there's at least one that Adric has discovered.
Do his tracks go over the bridge and continue?
You can't see the other side, so you don't know.
I mean, from where I am,
Yeah.
are the tracks going on?
On the bridge, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
They lead from where you came from, which was the forge gate, to the bridge, and then onto the bridge.
so theoretically, if I follow his tracks, I could get over, possibly.
Maybe. That's not a terrible idea.
He, see tracks? If
No.
no sea tracks.
You want to
No.
make an investigation check, Nyla?
Investigation! 17! I do see the tracks.
Hey now.
Oh, those ones. Right, yes, I see those.
If worse come worse, then we follow his tracks.
Alright. It's a short
If worse
rest.
come worse.
It's a short rest over.
You take so an hour of short resting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can have your rest.
Right, okay. Well, that's a nice idea. And I turn into a big giant eagle.
Like the druid turning into an owlbear in the new trailer for the D&D movie.
Which looks so cool!
It looks very good.
Looks pretty cool. Okay. So you transform into a big eagle. Okay.
Giant eagle.
All right. Very well.
And I'm going to pick up Storm, and I'm going to take him over the bridge.
Right.
How does Storm react to being picked up by a giant eagle?
He backs off really fast.
As the giant eagle moves towards him, he starts moving away.
Yeah.
Or do you like
Like
go
watching-
like do you like
He
climb?
definitely saw me turn into the bird, because
Do-
I was mid-conversation, so
Do-
he knows it's me.
Do you
I imagine
climb
it's
down
still
under the
quite
bridge,
alarming.
or do you just run away?
I just back the shit off real fast because I'm not made to fly.
Right. What's your flying speed, Nyla?
My fly speed is 80 feet.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, she's pretty quick, and she's moving at you.
Not
So-
if I use my
Going-
thing.
Do you want to make a
A dex versus
dexterity?
dex?
Do you want to make a dexterity saving throw? You could make a dex check.
I've got
yeah.
that speed thing
That
I
is true.
use.
He does have that.
He does have the cat
Tabashi
thing.
cat business that allows.
I
him
feel
to-
like just
It
means
d-
you
it
move
doubles
double
his
your
speed.
speed, and your speed is
Probably
30, so you
30.
still move slower than I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can make a dexterity saving throw though
Okay.
to avoid the claws picking you up.
18 plus 6 is what he rolled.
Okay, so 24. 20.
And then
24. Yeah.
Okay, well,
my dex check. Just. Oh! Fuck! 21, you just dodge out the way.
oh.
That's alright.
Okay,
if
so
that
you-
happens,
All right.
I'll go for Adric then.
Okay.
Adric
So
just puts his arms up meekly.
okay, and she picks you up and flies you to the other side of the river. Excellent. So
Thank you, Naylor.
at which point, Storm, you probably noticed that she's put him down carefully and gently and hasn't hurt him and dropped him in the river.
I'm circling back for Wiggins.
Oh, Wiggins. Okay, Wiggins is gonna. Wiggins.
This poor mad dwarf.
I have to roll for Wiggins. He's first of all he's going to make a wisdom saving throw to see whether or not he's of sound mind to even allow this to happen. Oh, he rolls a 3.
Is he just paralyzed in fear?
Is he paralyzed or is he going to run away?
Does he shit himself?
Any and all of those things. No, he starts moving it back. No, stop! No, oh my God! You pick him up.
This is like those videos on the internet where an eagle just picks up someone's poor chihuahua in Florida.
Yes.
God, yeah,
That's
pretty
exactly what this is.
Oh my God! He cries as you pick him up and begin to fly him across the river. He's struggling against you, even in flight, however.
Okay. Do you want me to make a dex save? Strength save?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have the eagle strength in my normal thing, so I'm just gonna roll handed. Are you fucking kidding me?
What did you roll? Natural 1?
A 3.
A 3.
So 6.
Well, as you go across the river,
I'm gonna drop this poor fucking guy.
he comes tumbling out of your claws and falls screaming into the river.
Can I try catch him?
No.
I'm gonna fly after him and try and get him.
He bobs up for a moment. Ah! He bobs up again. Drake!
Let me dive for him.
Adric's going
I'm
to
diving
dive
for
in
him.
as well.
I'm gonna.
No!
Storm will dive in because
All
he
three of
can
us now.
swim. A tiger has webbed feet, believe it or not.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That is very bizarre.
I found that out just recently. If that's part of the game, of course.
I don't care.
Russell's just said that I can only carry one person at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That
going
is
for him. I'm going for Wiggins.
Going for
Okay,
Wiggins.
yeah, you
First
try
of
to get him
all,
first.
you need to make an investigation check to see if you can find him first.
Okay. Investigation. Is that perception or is it just investigation?
It's investigation. Just
Fuck.
investigation.
I'm gonna use my inspiration if this is shit. 19?
19. All right. You are quite concerned then because you've been watching the river flow and he hasn't popped up again until suddenly, right at the edge of your vision, and I mean you've got eagle vision now, so it's probably a little bit stronger too. Although night vision, dark vision.
Keen sight, and eagle has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight.
Okay.
Which is why I asked if it was a perception.
Ah, you know what? Yeah, you can do that, but you got a 19 anyway, so I'm happy to just
Yeah.
transfer that over to a perception check. He bobs up one more time as he passes out into the next chamber, and he cries out, "Find the stone gate!" And then he's gone.
I'm going for him. I'm dashing,
You're
and
dashing.
that's 160 feet if it's an eagle, because it's 80 feet normal, and dashing is twice.
Right, as you fly in, you're heading to where the bison are, the Roth bison, and they all scatter. Their herd scatters around you as you come flying through there. And can you make another perception check?
Advantage. 17?
Okay, first of all, you see a number of huts up ahead. Of the exact same style as those of the Grung village that you decimated a few weeks back.
I just take this moment to just go, shit, shit, shit.
Then you see a small body floating up onto the surface and being carried by the current over to the wall. Somebody just followed us. That is what? Who was that? Come
That
on.
is quite a name.
I'm not going to try. I'm sorry, but it was.
The crazy
Great
Willy.
name. We can't fucking speak it.
I give you points for that. Thank you for following us. We greatly appreciate it. Okay, so Wiggins' body comes floating up on the surface over to the edge of the water.
Can I pluck him up and take him back to my friends?
You can. You can.
Caitlin.
He's limp in your arms, in your claws, should I say?
That's fine.
So you carry
It's
him back.
okay. I'm bringing him back to Darla.
Alright.
I'm
You put him.
gonna put him on the other side. Then I'm going to get pick Darla up and put her there.
That's a
All
good
right.
idea.
Roll across the bridge.
Great idea.
At this point, I'll just say that as Dala began to shrink, she started falling into a fit.
No!
she's spitting on the other side.
Darla is collapsed and her eyes are rolling and flickering. I take it you are taking a moment out.
Yep.
No?
No,
Oh,
no,
you're
she's just
you're
having a fit. She just
doing
wants
this-
to add flavour to the fucking story and make Nyla pick up all the fitting people.
I had just decided this. I thought, when this is a big thing for Dala, and when she comes out of this, I just had for weeks, or not weeks, but for at least a week, I've been thinking, yeah,
This is amazing.
Look at my face.
Okay. So Dala collapses.
I'm gonna mute myself. Hold on.
So you take Wiggins across, drop him on the other side. You fly back for Dala, but she's out like a light, or she's collapsed and having
A fit.
A
Which
fit,
I'm just gonna
yeah.
pick her up and put her next to Wiggins.
all right.
Oh my god.
And-
Where's Edric and where's Storm?
Well, Adric, you've already taken across, right?
Yeah, I'm with. I'm with
Did you
Wiggins
dive
and,
into the water or are you fine?
No, we were trying to sort out what was happening. So when you
Okay.
dived in, I didn't.
Okay.
So no, I'm with Wiggins. I'm probably trying to like give him CPR.
All right. Do you want to make a medicine check?
Certainly. Oh god, I've got disadvantage on this.
Use your inspiration, Michael.
No, we're good. It's 10.
10. You don't know if he's alive or dead at this point. You're not sure. You thought you felt a pulse for a moment, but
Mad Girl Charlie has set the DC real low. She
Is 10
says.
good enough?
is 10 good enough? All right. You feel a heartbeat.
Naila, he's alive.
Storm, what are you doing?
Where's
Thank you, Charlie.
Storm?
Swimming across.
You're going to swim across. All right. Can you make an athletics check, please?
Athletics check.
Athletics check. For
If I roll
swimming.
good when I rolled really shit for myself, this dice is biased. Fuck you!
You'd have to ask
So-
more nicely than that.
You know-
17 plus 6.
Oh my
That-
goodness. 23.
Yeah, that's why I'm mad, because I rolled a 3 when it was me, but every roll I've rolled for Barry has been 15 or higher.
Right.
So I've determined that bridges are the bane of our existence. Any type of crossing is designed to harm us.
This is like auteur theory in film. Like, you're dismantling.
23 for Storm.
23 for Storm. All right, you get to the other side of the river, Storm, and you climb out.
And do I see the elfie guy lying down there?
Oh, he's a dwarf.
I go and lay my hands on him if he's bad.
Yeah, and you're not a paladin, so laying on hands is not going to help.
But it says
cure
on my
wounds.
thing I can lay on hands or something.
That's on. Yeah. Lay on hands is Ren. Ren
Me,
can.
me. Is it just for me?
It's
No,
what?
no,
Hold
no.
on.
It's a class character thing. Ren can do lay on hands, which allows you to spend up to like 25 hit points or something for him to heal people. But you're a ranger, so you have cure wounds.
Oh, I got him confused, sorry.
Yep. So you
Ah,
cast cure
confused.
wounds.
Yeah, I got cured wounds.
All right. So you cast cure wounds. Let's get a dice roll for cure wounds. How many hit points
Yep.
he gets back?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got the two confused.
No,
He
that's all
doesn't
right.
have it on his character sheet currently because he has no spells.
All
I
right.
got it on this one.
He's got it
But
on
it's-
his character sheet, so that's fine. I'm happy to go with that. That's what his original one was.
How many dice do I need to roll? Because it's not on the one that I'm looking at.
I've decided it doesn't matter because he was drowning anyway.
Okay.
So you cast cure wounds.
I'll have a look at it too.
1d8 plus 4.
All right, go on then.
Hang on, I'll see if I'm
11.
11. All right, Wiggins sits up. Water pours out of the front of his face like a projectile water streaming.
There, Wiggins. You're right there.
Oh, that tastes horrible.
Nida lands.
It's cure wounds, Russell.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what I said. He picks up a little
Absolutely.
fish out of his hair and holds it up to the bird. You like that, do you? Blackfish.
I'm gonna puke it up in front of him.
Oh, why? Why'd you do that? Oh,
And I'm gonna nudge it to him with my beak.
no, I don't want it. I don't want that. I gave it to you because I don't want it. You, what's your name, Catman?
Excuse me.
You saved my life.
Me?
I'd say so. There I was, back in the darkness again, and then more light. Just like that.
No. It was...
Ooh, what about her though? She's...
It was the bird that saved your life.
Ah. Well,
Don't
your
worry
friend...
too much about Dala. This happens from time to time. Oh, it's been a while.
She goes big and small and has a lie down.
No, the big and small is something I do. That was.
You want I should carry her?
I'll carry her. You're probably a better scout than I am.
All right.
Okay.
Just before Adric
It's
picks her
true,
up.
he's a terrible scout. Did you see what he did on the bridge? He fell into a trap.
I managed to get across just fine.
Oh.
We go.
From what I saw, he got across with the help of the bird.
I got halfway across just fine.
Storm will take the front.
Alright, Storm goes out the front.
Edric following Storm.
He'll use all his senses and go along that way.
Alright, very good then. Well. Give me... Yep.
He looks for tracks as well. Any kind of disturbance on the ground.
You make a survival check for that.
Before we hit the road, Dalla wakes up as she sits up and she's so relieved that
22.
she's finally been in Sahini Moonbow's presence. She's so happy. She kisses the nearest person to her.
Who is the nearest person to her?
Should we roll a dice?
I think we should. A D4.
The D4?
Because Wiggins on that list.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
I rolled a
one-
natural 19 for Barry's character's survival check, so he gets a 22.
All right, Barry, you pick up the tracks, and they head off up the other side of the cavern through to a tunnel that heads up.
Nyla, Dala, you kiss Wiggins.
Oh, what? Why?
Seen her again.
Ugh.
She hasn't abandoned me. I am still in her good graces.
Who hasn't abandoned you?
I'm Sahini Moonbow.
Oh, she abandoned everyone long ago.
Well,
We were all abandoned
yes.
by her, especially us, the dwarves. Yes, Adric. Isn't that
There's
right?
A lot of that going around, Wiggins.
Aye, abandonment. Gods. But they haven't abandoned you, have they, Adric? Not all of them.
I've been quite abandoned.
Is that true?
Aye.
Nyla, stomps her feet a little bit.
Wow.
near Dala.
The crazy Willy cheered for 100. Ooh, love the voice acting. Yay! Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you, Willie. That's we're
nips.
all professionals.
Nips at her neck.
Nips at her neck.
Oh, hi, Nyla. Nyla, what's you want me to get going? Okay. All right.
All right.
Nyla gets up and gets moving.
Dala gets up and gets moving. All right, fair enough. Well, you move on through the Underdark for a while. And that while turns into days.
Do I fit as a bird? Because I'm going to stay as a bird for as long as possible because this is fun.
Well, you can certainly do that for a long period of time. And you come across a number of interesting places as you move through. The most notable one being a large chasm that has these kind of pillar-like islands in it, with rope bridges that move between them, and an abandoned drow settlement, which you probably will stay in, I'm assuming, at some point, as to take a long rest at some point. It's abandoned and you feel it's safe. So I'm obviously truncating the story here somewhat.
Yeah.
And eventually, you come out onto a main road, which, Adric, you recognize, because you've been here before. This is the road to Berrenor, Fane.
We're on our way home.
Home! Ah!
Aye.
I don't know about home, but yes, it was
Just
on the
down
road,
that way. Better not Fane.
road to somewhere.
It's good to see you so happy, Adric.
I didn't I forgot how much I missed it.
Now, before we do continue, is there anything you guys want to talk about among yourselves, communicate between yourselves, do or achieve, anything like that before you get to this next location? If you want to, now's a good time.
Right.
Nyla's gonna just come back into herself. Just FYI, I've found carrying statistics for the bird.
Oh,
A light load is up to 300 pounds, a medium load is 301 to 600 pounds, and a heavy load is 601 to 900 pounds.
That's substantial, my
They
God.
carry a lot. But anyway,
right.
I can turn into a bird. I can turn into a bird. I can turn into a bird.
Wow.
That's Nyla. She's dancing. She's excited.
Right.
She's been wanting to be able to do this for a very long time.
Right, and she gets to do it
Excellent. And Nyla's happy.
in the Underdark. But still.
Exciting.
You know, there's... Oh, yeah, Dala?
I was just going
All
to
Storm
ask.
is thinking as she's doing that, chicken.
It's like she would make a good supper.
Yeah, you could make a soup out of that one.
Oh,
Hey, Dala?
Alphabet
not
soup.
wrong.
Alphabet soup. Alrighty.
Well, just now, I had a vision of a book that I know of. I think she was bringing it to my thoughts because this book, it had mention of avatars in it, and that's come up in our conversations a few times.
Aye.
Is there any way we could pop by Hemeth Terth, either perhaps on our way back to Vaingate? Is that a possibility? We're past it now, aren't we?
Who knows?
Oh, no, you can't go to Hemeth Tirith.
Oh,
No.
why not?
Oh, it's knocked down centuries ago. That place is
Oh,
an
it's-
abandoned ruin.
It's
I
a
beg your
thriving
pardon.
city now.
Impossible.
We
No.
were there nearly a few months ago.
You must be mistaken, sir. There is no such place. The place has been knocked down for centuries.
Certainly not.
After that flood took the entire palace down into the river, all the way pieces of that palace were found all the way down to Lithlian.
No, that didn't happen.
Oh, I tell you it did.
Right, Wiggins.
Aye.
What year did that occur in?
By the draconic calendar, I would say that was. It gives you a number that is about 2 years from now.
Right. Wiggins, you did realise that the year is currently 2 years before then.
Don't be ridiculous. I don't know what's wrong with you. You seem to all have a bit of a screw loose, as the saying goes.
Mr. Wiggins,
Aye.
you don't happen to know an elf by the name of Maith, do you?
Maith. No, nothing like that. No. I do
What's
know
your
a number of elves.
specialisation?
however. Specialisation? What do you mean by that?
What do you do?
I do everything. I'm a jack of all trades. I can build a house, cook a fish, fly a kite, although I haven't done too much of that, to be honest with you. Once upon a time I did, in a battlefield, with my father.
Well, you know that
He looks at
Dad
Adric
is
again.
kind of like a spiritual healer type person that we might call a cleric.
Oh, yes.
I'm a person who can turn into animals and nature magic.
Oh, that
Druid.
was you then? That was the big bird back there?
Aye, and you made it bloody difficult.
No, surely not.
Anyway, what's your class?
A clown. I don't understand the question. Because you're metagaming.
No, I'm not.
You're not
I'm asking
familiar,
a question that's within the designation
Wiggins.
of this thing.
You're not familiar with any magic? Are you combat melee arts?
With dwarves we can fight, of course. I can fight with axe and shield and bow. Mostly
Sure. But,
crossbows is my preferred weapon, to be fair with you. But I don't like to fight if I can help it. I think fighting is for younger men and fools.
You don't have any magic capabilities, do you?
Magic capabilities. Oh. I once met a magician. Tried to teach me something, but that was a long time ago.
what was their name?
Oh, I've forgotten that now. Long past.
You haven't been to a plane that has twilight sky forever and has mushrooms that can eat people and
Oh, that
trees
sounds,
that talk to you.
that sounds terrifying. No, I have not been there. Oh.
Place that's pretty much forever winter.
Are you making this up?
I'm talking about the
We weren't there not so
Feywild.
long ago either.
The Fey what?
The Feywild.
What's that?
That's where I'm from.
Well, it doesn't sound very nice, but it does explain why you're so constantly uptight.
Edric laughs as well.
It's got to be the worst observation a person's ever made about me.
What?
Ever.
There you go again. See? Proof is in the pudding. My point has been proven.
So tell us about the kite. What color was it?
Well, it was orange, and it had the form of a lobster.
Right, it was a happy day, was it?
Yes, it was a happy day.
And your father, what was his name?
Oh, I never knew my father. Not very well. I called him Papa, so
Right,
don't really know what his real name was, but he died
But-
long ago, yes.
long ago.
What was your mother's name?
Oh, my mother's name was Jarana Trueblood. Well, that was her name before she, married into my father's line.
Hey.
Yes. I think
Okay.
some reason the name Fogdar comes up.
It's a fairly common clan.
Mm, Right.
We're quite prolific, or we were anyway.
it must have been. So, where are we going then? This road
Berrenor,
does,
Fane.
this
Follow
road
this
does seem
road.
familiar, doesn't it? Have you been here before?
Myself, I've spent most of my life here.
Oh, I see. Well, you must be very happy then.
It's been a while since I've been home. Aye.
You're going to see your mother and pa. Surely, yes?
Aye.
Little children
Aye.
running about the house, eh? Ha ha! The patter of little feet. You're married, of course.
Aye.
Hmm.
Aye, I was.
I see.
Let's.
You were.
Shall we get going?
Does Wiggins look like Edric?
Does he look like Adric?
Do they have very similar facial features?
Make an Adric roll. I mean, an investigation.
Can I make it
Roll
too?
for Edric.
Right.
Investigation.
Yep.
Or not inside? I guess no.
Now, inside is more of an emotional sort of, is this person lying
Right,
kind
right,
of
right.
thing.
15.
15. 15. They could be related. That there's nothing. He's definitely not an identical twin or anything like that. How many dwarves have you met? It's also difficult to know whether is that a dwarven trait or a Adric's bloodline trait.
Right.
You know.
Like, same color eyes,
Right.
similar nose shape, ears, face,
Hair
angular,
color.
circle, hair color.
There's enough difference there for you to think that he's probably not directly related.
Okay.
Like at most, he could be a cousin or something like that.
Edric,
Hey.
do you want to go on ahead, seeing it is your homeland?
No. It'll be easier if we all go together, so I can introduce you. Better that than strangers just turn up and I have to explain that.
That is why I say, do you want to go ahead of us? In the sense that
No,
instead of me in front, you in front.
Oh,
Do you
I
want
see.
to ride on a flying eagle?
No, that will just terrify them.
Right.
They'll think it's an attack.
Right.
No, I misunderstood your meaning, Storm. I'll take the lead.
Good.
Al is
I'll
going
be
to try and
behind
drop.
you.
Dala's going to try and
drop back with hopefully Nyla. She'd like to have a private conversation with Nyla.
Okay.
Best of address.
Then should we not go?
Yes, let's be moving.
Chat. Oh snap! Henceforth known as Nyla the Uptight.
I saw that.
But Caitlin, you're usually so good with repeating all the messages in the chat. You didn't mention that one.
I didn't think it was relevant, really.
Fair enough. All right.
So,
Okay.
Nyla,
Yeah.
I would like to keep this a little bit between you and I. Ordinarily, I would.
Are you in love with Adric?
What? No.
No?
This is about
Right.
gods. Good heavens.
Gods.
Yes.
Gods.
Yes, I know. I know it's not your favorite subject, but I'm desperate. I need someone to talk to, and Ren's not here anymore. So,
Well, that's
the
not
thing I
very
was
interesting.
I
All
do-
right, let's go.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know it's not your area of expertise, but I need you.
Okay.
So the gods, they sort of cluster in branches, right? And I noticed that Berrenor Truesilver, her domain is light, and Corlon's domain is light as well. And I just wondered if perhaps, well,
They're
if
one and the same.
one and the same, or have the dwarves heard from Berrenor Truesilver recently, or anyway, if you could just keep your ears open for anything that might be mentioned. I know the dwarves are very protective of their information and their society and everything, so it won't be something we should dig too deeply in, but I'd be ever so grateful if you could just keep your ears open.
Do we have any more wine?
I believe I gave all the alcohol I had to Edrin.
Damn it.
I know, I'm sorry, I keep... Oh, but you know what I do have? I have that jug. I could pour some wine from the jug.
Ooh, that's a good jug. I like the jug.
That's right, the jug of alchemy.
You're definitely
Um,
juggling a lot at the moment, but I figure if the best way to get information out of someone in a nice way is to get them drunk or to have a celebration.
Right. Oh, good thinking, Nyla.
Right, so I wasn't just asking if you had alcohol for me. It was
No,
more of
I'm glad, because I was
Right.
trying to imagine how you were going to drink while we were walking.
Well, I've got
And
two hands and I've got two legs, so I can always have two drinks and walk at the same time. As long as they
Yeah,
don't go
that-
sideways. I'm fine. I'm kidding. It'll be fine. But no, I will keep an eye and an ear out for mentions of, sorry, what was it? Light gods?
Right. Berrenor Truesilver.
What kind of light is it? Is it like sunlight or starlight or...
Just the light. It represents truth and new beginnings, I suppose.
Barry and Adric, you guys are going ahead. Is that right?
Yeah.
Barry,
The two of us leading.
one of you was going to say something a minute ago, and I wanted to just switch back to you guys.
Yes. Yes, we're going ahead.
Okay. So you come around this great corner, whereupon there is a watchtower built into the wall on the left-hand side. The right-hand side is a chasm that drops away to a distant river down below. That is the river that you have in fact been following most of the way here. And at the watchtower, far above, Adric, you know that there are guards there, and as you approach, there is a number of guards. Oh, my microphone's doing funny things. There are a number of guards guarding the entranceway or the passage forward, and you can see them about 200 feet away.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to make my presence known so they don't, attack us. purely defensively.
How do you go about making your presence known? Waving your hands and doing a jig?
Yeah. I'll take. Sorry, yeah, you're right. I'll take my helmet off and go, ahoy there, kinsman!
You hear a horn blow, and then you see some guards come out from the front of the tower at the base. A couple of them come wandering up in your direction. They look quite casual. They don't look like they're about to attack you or anything like that, but they are armed. And as they approach, you make a perception check.
Okie dokie. That is a 14.
A 14. Alright, you recognize one of them as Kilvar Ironfist.
Yes.
You were both trained together by your grandmother some time ago. She being a great warrior amongst the clan.
Yeah. Hail and Milwet Kilvar.
Adric! Adric, is that you?
Aye, it's been some time.
You look different, Adric. Perhaps taller.
No. Surely not.
You've gotten a bit of a tan on there.
Aye, it's been a bit of time underneath the two suns.
You've been up there, have you?
Aye, doing a bit of work, visiting old Brazil.
Drazael?
Aye, he's got his own business in Vaingate.
Oh, that ragged vagabond. Aye, I'm not surprised. He has a business in Vaingate. He spits on the floor. Well, you've got companions with... What the hell is that? He looks over at the tabashi behind you.
I was just coming ahead just to warn you. We're a bit of a ragtag group. This here is Storm, mighty warrior, gave us a wee hand in dispatching Dweger on the Forge Gate.
You sure this is not an invasion?
Quite sure. There's only 4 of us. Well, 5 if you include old Wiggins there.
Hail and well met. Hail and well met. Wiggins, do we know you? Oh, not yet you don't, but you will.
He's don't think too hard on it. I wager he's taken a wee tumble. And these two lovely elves are Goodale Dalatalandaran and Nyla.
Hi.
Ah, yes. So you're taking company with elves now as well, then?
There's quite a lot of people above ground, and they've more than earned my respect.
Yes. Well, last I heard, looks over at the dwarf soldier standing next to him, who hasn't moved. He's basically just standing at attention like a good soldier. And you don't know that guy. Why don't you come inside the guard tower and we'll have a drink? Bring your friends inside.
See, I told you they like to drink.
Have you had a meal for a while?
It's been a while since we had a decent meal. We've been traipsing through the Underdark for over a week.
Through the Underdark for a week? Oh, that's nothing. There was a time, Adric Fogdar, when you would travel through the Underdark for months at a time and you would be quite happy
Patching him
with
on the
that.
smallest back. I remember.
But now a week and your back is almost broken, your shoes are worn in. I see. Come on then. You poor Adric.
Oh, Kilvar, you're... I bet you're feeling quite hard done by a guard detail watching these hard walls from your comfortable stool.
Look at your beard, Adric. He starts playing with your beard.
What's wrong with my beard? It's not quite as tidy as when I left, but I don't mind the growth so much.
That's
I'm gonna
not the
druid craft
growth.
some flowers for Edric's beard.
Don't do that.
What the hell's that?
Oh, it's just Nyla. Dumb elves. They're too tricky for their own
Don't
good
tell me that.
sometimes.
Now, Adric, at that moment, you might remember a time when your wife... Do we have a name for her?
Yeah, Maglaya.
Maglaya. I need to write that down. How do you spell that?
Give me 2 seconds just to find it in my story.
While you're finding that, I'll tell you something about her, and that is that she used to weave your beard for you every day before you went out to work.
Aww.
M-E-G
M-E-G?
L-I-A.
Meglia. Meglia. Okay. Meglia Fogda. Right. It's all in here now. Okay. Cool. So, all right, Adric and the company. Don't know your names yet, but no doubt we'll learn them over supper and some ale and perhaps some dice. How do you feel about that? Come on in. He opens up the door into the guard tower. You lot, clear out. We're taking over this space. You can see that he's gone up a few ranks since last you saw him. He was just a lowly guard. Now he seems to be the captain of this guard tower.
I know what I can. Yourself, Kilvar.
Well, this place is ours now. Come on, take a seat. Over by the fireplace, huh?
Aye, thank you.
Eberk, bring us some ale, quickly. Chop, chop. Eberk heads off to get some ale.
So, any news? It's been some years.
Adric, you shouldn't have come back here. I don't want to tell you this, but not with all of them around, but you're not welcome here now.
I assure you, I didn't want to come back until my work was finished. But circumstances being what they are, this was the only place I could think to come to.
I know you and Meglia had your troubles in the day. I know. We all know. And everyone understands. But tradition's tradition. You can't leave your wife like that without a child and just off into the wilderness, off into the overworld like that. You've shamed her. You've shamed her family. You shamed yourself, Adric.
I didn't leave on a whim. I left to fix it all. What was I meant to do? Prostrate myself at the feet of Moradin like the rest of you and wait for them to wake?
Well, what have you done then? Have you woken anything? What have you done? I mean,
I've been searching. Searching for answers, trying to find a way.
You're not the first to search, Adric. You know that.
I know I'm not the first, but if we just give up, there's nothing to be found.
We're not giving up. We're not giving up.
What was I meant to do? Prostrate myself at Moradin's feet?
Aye. That's what's expected of you, by you, your family, your clan, your father and mother. That's what's expected.
We've been doing that for millennia, and look where it's got us.
Aye, and we're still here. We're still sustaining. We're
dwindling.
Oh, your words cut to the quick, Adric.
Nyla's gonna go try and help the dwarf that went off for ale.
Okay.
She's just like,
All right, so you head off to do that. Fair enough.
I put some flowers in the other guy's hair.
Okay.
Stealthily.
All right. So, Adric, you notice the flowers growing in his hair.
Val is going to go to like a
6.
What is this? Would you stop that? Damn flowers in my hair. Is that your friend doing that?
I'm gone.
It's just harmless.
We don't get flowers like this down here. Actually, they're quite pretty.
No, they're quite nice.
I might keep those.
Kilvan, I've been all over. I've done a great deal of things in that time.
Have you?
I'm close.
Close to what?
Something I don't know.
You told me that before, back in the old days, didn't you?
Aye. But look, that's when I came across my runes.
Aye, you and your runes, yes.
How tall is the room?
Pretty tall. Tall enough.
Kilvan.
16
stand
feet.
back.
How about that?
That's great. It's like very high ceilings on this guard tower.
Well, you get that.
Okay, Kilvan, stand back. I'll show you.
What are you going to do, Adric? I don't want to fight you, right?
Adric enlarges in front of him.
Kilvar makes a wisdom saving throw to see if he freaks out, pisses himself, or runs away. He rolls a 15, so he does not any of those things. He watches you enlarge. Adric.
And I sit down on the floor in front of him. I couldn't find what we needed in the deep roots. So I went searching, and I learned things.
How did you do that, Adric? Adric, you turned into a giant. How did you do that?
The
Just-
runes.
Adric, I've heard stories about the Dwegar can do that.
Aye, I've fought several.
You've been consorting with them.
I've not been consulting with them. I could do this before any of them. I've come.
What do you
It's
want
not-
here, Adric? You want to go inside the city?
I just want to deliver some things, and I'll be gone. Maybe I also need to speak to the elders.
You hear a
The queen.
horn blast outside the tower. Oh, we've got visitors.
Is that good news or bad news?
I don't know yet. Hold here for a moment.
Alright.
Don't let anyone see you, all right?
Okay.
And he pops outside and has a look. And through the doorway, through the flaps of the doorway, and Nyla, you probably returned with the keg of ale around this point too, by the way. Storm, are you at this table just listening in?
Yeah, I'm at the table listening in, and I say to,
Adric or Kilvar?
I say to Nala. I say to Nala.
She's not in the room.
She's just returned.
Yeah.
Oh, she's sorry.
Yep.
I say, does everybody grow?
Not normally. Normally, people sort of stay the size that they were shaped to be.
Adric, can you make a perception check, please?
Yes.
Adric's a special case, and Daladroka's backed potion.
And on that
16.
note, what is Dala doing? Adric, you hear the sounds of a funeral procession outside. Coming from another city. You know that the dwarves, whenever somebody dies, they bring their dead, particularly certain dead, and you know the kind of dead I'm talking about. They bring them to this city to be entombed.
What's wrong?
Another baby.
Oh,
Dala, where are you?
Nala is in the room. She was trying to be unobtrusive.
Okay. So you're just sitting at the table quietly, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe
Over by
looking
the
at a book,
fire.
one of her books, trying to not listen in too much.
Fair enough. Okay.
And Storm is trying to do the same, but with his size and that, it's very hard to be unobtrusive, you know?
Oh,
Fair enough.
is he near Dala?
Yeah.
All right, Dala's trying really hard to be cool about it.
All right.
she wants to pet him.
Kind of, but she's still very much afraid of him.
I'm going to go over to Adric. Are you okay?
I didn't want to come back until I'd sorted it out, but I knew I shouldn't have come back. We should do something else with the crown and the mask.
We're already here. It'll take too long to go somewhere else.
We made the best decision we could at the time.
I know it's hard for you, but there's no point in going somewhere else. We can't have come all this way and taking the time that we did and not do it here.
You're right.
Is there a problem?
It's a long story, Storm.
You now hear the funeral procession passing outside the gate, outside the flaps of the entrance to the guard tower.
Tell us, what is the most respectful thing we can do right now?
Stay inside.
Okay.
And I think
I'm gonna start pouring ale.
Returns to his normal size. Hey, thank you.
I'm
Well,
gonna
after-
cross out some cups.
Shortly afterwards, Kilvar comes back in again. All right, they've passed. Now tell me what you're doing here, Adric.
I hand him the ale.
Well,
A cup of ale. And
I
I've made sure it's cold. With a cantrip.
There's
he
a
gives,
water.
he gives you a quizzical look, Nyla. Not entirely disapproving.
I cock my head and I sit down.
I'm here for. I have 3 things to do. The first is I have 2 artifacts that I need to hide. I need to put. This is the only safe place I could think of. The first is a cursed crown from a lich. The
What? A lich?
You don't have to believe me.
How did you... Oh, all right, you just keep talking.
You just saw me grow.
Aye,
Don't ask too many
aye.
questions.
You just tell me the story and I'll shut my gob.
I pour more ale into this dude's glass.
The second object to hide is the Mask of Moradin. And
He sprays water out of his mouth. I'm not going to do that because we'll go on my microphone.
yeah,
Fair.
Dal lifts up her bag of holding and sort of gives questioning eyes to Adric, like, do you want me to bring it out now?
aye. Please tell me.
Right.
What
So Dal,
is this?
Mask of Moradin, and passes it to Adric.
Don't. No.
No? Oh, sorry.
No. No.
What's that?
It's the mask of Moradin.
Wow. Genuine? Did you buy that from some Dwegar or some goblins, perhaps?
We stole it off some Barakyle wizards.
We killed a procession for it.
You killed a procession for it.
Aye.
Adric fought most fiercely.
You fought the Barakyle wizards for that.
Aye.
What were they doing with it?
They were
Currently
leaving-
trying to take over Vaingate.
They were leading it in a procession towards their war camp that is building itself outside Vaingate.
Well, why didn't you just let them take Vaingate? It's none of our concern.
Because if we
It'll
let them take
become our
Vaingate,
concern. They won't stop there. They're gathering.
Come on,
Steel
Adric. They're
ju-
not gonna come down here, are they? Those wizards are humans. They can't even see in the dark.
they're already here.
What? What do you mean?
Isla's gonna
by-
pull up the head that she severed from the Barakyle wizard.
All right.
We took that from the Forge Gate. She was in meeting. She was in allegiance with the Dwegar.
Mwah. Puts it back in.
This is some news indeed. All right, Adric.
So you can see why I've come back.
All right, Adric. I've got some cloaks upstairs. I'm going to put them on you all. Oh, I don't
I'm
know
not
how to
going to
disguise your elves, but you...
Hide the elves. I'm not going to hide in my own home.
No, Adric, you have to hide. You cannot just walk through the streets here. You'll have rocks thrown at you.
I deserve it.
Dal looks over at Storm thinking, how are we going to disguise that?
What's weirder, an elf or a wolf?
Or a cat.
Or a cat?
Well, the other option is that you can all stay here in the guard tower whilst Adric goes inside.
Adric,
Or
what
you
do
can
you
give
think?
me your artifacts and your story and I can go and tell it to the high priests. But I'm not sure they'll believe it coming from me.
It has to be me, and it gives me an opportunity to see my father again.
Oh, yeah.
Nyla's gonna turn into a little weasel and then run up Adric's left and just curl around his neck.
Adric, you don't know.
I don't, and that's why I have to see.
Adric, I'm sorry. He stands up and walks over to you and puts his hand on your shoulder.
Bugger off! No.
No. I'm sorry, Adric. He's...
No.
Sorry,
When?
Adric. He's gone.
When?
2 years passed.
How long after I left?
Months. His health declined very quickly. They died of heartbreak, Adric.
Adric's gonna hurl his ale at the wall. No!
Splashes.
I left for him! For all of you!
Sorry, Adric. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Adric. Your mother's well? She lives with your, do you remember little Gilther?
Aye.
Cousin. She helps her every day. She comes and helps her. Sometimes they stay. She keeps her well.
Okay. So, before I get to my business,
Aye.
I must visit my mother. I must see my father, and then my business.
You sure, Adric, if you walk inside the city, you might find yourself being detained, who knows? I'm not sure I can keep them off you.
Gilvan, there's not a cell that can hold me.
Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, sorry. Let me just boost my microphone, because that was good.
Yep.
Kilvar, there's not a cell that can hold me. Not now.
I believe that. But would you break from it? Would you hurt people to prove a point?
Let's hope it doesn't come to it. I've not come here to harm, to break. I've come with news, and I've come to live. And if nothing else, I've come as a son mourning his father.
Aye. I understand.
And they wouldn't deny me that, would they?
I shouldn't think so.
So, I'll take Nyla with me. And
She hugs him slightly more around his neck.
Like scruffs her ears.
What shape is she in at the moment?
A weasel.
A weasel.
She turned into a Snow White weasel and was crawled up onto his back before.
Okay.
Dala, Storm, can you, if you can fashion disguises for yourself, your company is very welcome, but you may have to stay here.
Ella looks at the guard. Do you think cloaks would do it?
Look, there's no law here forbidding elves from entering the city, alright? I will offer you my personal protection if you believe that Adric Fogdar here is your friend. I
do.
Pass on my protection to you. Now, you seem to have symbols of a holy nature about you.
Yes, I do. If I put my vestments on, would that help?
I think that you should put your vestments on, and then you should wear a cloak over that, and if anyone questions you, you can take off the cloak and point to the vestments.
Right.
But I'll be with you. I'll take you directly to the temple. However, Adric, you don't want to go to the temple directly. You want to go to your mother's house first.
No, the temple has to be last.
That's very inconvenient, but all right.
You've known me for a long time.
Your mother's house is on the far side. She's moved places, you know that.
I came across the Dariel to see her.
Where have you been all this time? Where did you go?
Vaingate, Hemoth Terrath, the Feywild.
The Feywild? Adric, why? Why would you go there? Why would you go to that mad place? Mad redcaps and insane creatures of all sorts of danger and inhospitability.
Nyla's gonna crawl up onto Adric's head and just look at the other dude.
It was to take a friend home.
Aye.
And then she came back with an army to fight the Barrack Isle.
You're involved in a war as well now.
2, technically.
A great many things.
All right, let's go. Let's get out of here. All right. One moment. Let me see. What was his name? Eberk! Eberk, get down here! Yes, my lord. How can I help? You're on watch. Oh, yes, my lord. Can I ask Brotor to... Yes, just do it! Do it now! Go! And get me some cloaks. Big ones. And horses from the stable. Big ones! Off he goes. And before long, you find yourselves cloaked and on ponies outside the front of the tower. What were you going to say, Dala? I'm sorry?
I'm not that large.
All right. So you're heading in towards the entranceway to Berrenor Fane. My apologies. and there is another large gate there. But with Kilvar with you, he waves to them, and his insignia and rank allow him to get you through the gates fairly quickly. However, Adric, how do you carry yourself as you go through this place?
Not proudly, for one. I think he's looking ahead. He's got his helmet on, and I think it's a bit subdued. I think it's a bit subdued.
Is this helmet easily recognizable? Is it connected to your clan? Is it a family heirloom?
Not at all. This is the helmet that he made with his dwarven plate.
Right.
I think he's probably I think what he does have that is potentially recognizable on him.
Yeah.
Is his shield, which is on his back.
Right.
That hasn't been replaced.
Okay.
His old warhammer that's on his waist, at his waist.
Right.
And his wedding ring, which you probably can't see it, but it's on a necklace underneath his beard.
Okay. All right. Well, as you go through, people can't recognize you as you're coming towards them. But after you get through the gates and you enter through the main wall entrance into Berrenor, Fane, I will say it right. You hear people talking in the background, and then you feel this rock hit the back of your neck, the back of your head. Thunk! And then you feel more rocks hitting your shield on your back. Dunk, dunk, dunk. And you can hear people whispering, Adric Fogdar! That's Adric Fogdar! Adric, he's the one. Shame, great shame. Upon the city, his family, his poor mother. His father died. Heartbreak. All of these whispers going on as you go down the street, and a number of dwarven children follow you at a distance of about 30 feet, casting stones at you as you walk the street. And Kilvar turns around. You stop that at once, or I'll have you all in the brig. And they all scatter. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. Thank you, Kilvar.
Finally, going up and around through the city itself, this deep underground dwarven city. The ceiling of this cavern's not that high, and the dwellings are built up into the walls and into the huge stalactites that reach the ceiling and the floor, like pillars, stairways that arch around them, and you get up to the far back of the city, where the wall, the guard wall meets the cavern wall, and right up there, wedged in the poorest district of the city, is a small, humble dwelling with some stairs that go down to a rather rickety-looking door. There's a window, which is really just a slit with some curtains hanging in it, and a wooden piece of plank nailed to the outside of it. Well, that's your house. That's her house now, Adric. That's where she lives. Are you sure you want to see her?
I have to.
You want us to come in?
No, I shouldn't be long. And if I am long, I'll invite you in. But
Well, alternatively, I can take your friends to a tavern somewhere if you like.
Whereabouts do you think you're going, so I can find you after?
He tells you the name of a tavern that you have known for, a very long time. It's still there.
A regular haunt, yeah.
Yeah. Would anyone in the audience like to come up with a name for a dwarven tavern in Berrenor, Fane?
I'm gonna stay wild shaped attached to you, by the way. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, he wasn't. I think he moves to pull, and you dig your fucking claws, and he's like, okay.
All right, that's fair. Storm, you happy to hang with the rest of the group?
He is. He's not too impressed about, the situation, but he's sticking with this lot, and when he sticks with somebody, as you know, he
Right.
sticks with them.
Right.
What's
Can I-
Wiggins doing?
Wiggins, can you make perception checks, please?
Certainly.
12.
14.
I just rolled. Storm got a 6. The first bad roll that I've rolled for Storm.
Goodale,
That's
a
quite good,
natural,
Jojo.
a 20
Dir-
altogether.
Dirty 20.
Ooh,
Dirty
the
20.
nodding kettle.
I like that.
That's great. The nodding kettle, all right. Write that down. You've
Very
now
nice.
created lore.
The nodding kettle.
That's a good ass name. I really like that.
Yeah, me too.
I really like that it was JoJo that came up with it too.
Yeah. I'm playing a one-shot with JoJo on Wednesday, I believe. Is that right?
Hey.
Hey! Yeah,
Yeah.
Jordan. We love to
So,
see it.
That's going to be cool. And, anyone that wants to come along or be involved in that, it is a paid game, but I think if I'm not getting my wires completely crossed, there are some paid seats in that game, which I think, if I'm not entirely out of my mind and lost the plot, somebody here is responsible for. I don't want to say too much in case I've got my wires entirely crossed and I mess this up. But there are paid slots in that game on Wednesday night that you can have if you want them. Get in touch. Anyway,
Oh.
the Nodding Kettle. So, do you guys go to the Nodding Kettle, or are you going to wait outside to see how long Adric's going to be?
Well, should we not wait outside just to see how long he might be?
Oh, and by the way, Wiggins has disappeared.
Oh. Could you give us a signal, Adric, if you want us to come in or if we should continue on to the tavern?
Hi. I'll let you know.
Right. So we'll wait for a signal.
Okay. He's gonna get off his horse, and walk up to the door,
All right. So you go down these steps to the door,
and
standing outside that door.
standing outside the door, reaches up to knock, pulls his hand away, takes off his helmet, straightens his hair. and then
Nyla
knocks.
licks the side of his face.
Like you know.
And then finally you knock? Or
Yeah. Then I knock.
Well, at first there's no response, but after a moment, a longish moment, your cousin Gilthor opens the door and she looks up at you.
Hello there, Gilthor.
She looks like she's in shock, and she makes a wisdom saving throw. She says, I have a light mind to throw this door back in your face, Adric. You shouldn't be here.
And you have every right to. But I'm here to see my mother.
So you should. So you should. But you wait here for one moment while I prepare her for this news. I wouldn't want her
Aye.
heart to stop.
Aye.
You just wait here.
Aye.
And he calls out, Meglir!
Oh, my mother is Gilgrid.
Gilgrid.
Muglia is his
Meglir's
wife.
your wife. Oh,
It's like,
Gilgrid.
woo, that's weird.
Right, Gilgrid. She calls out her name. And you hear her call back something in her croaking old voice. What is it, love? There's someone here to see you, Gilgrid. It's your son. Oh, don't lie to me. He won't come back. I don't have a son anymore.
It's me, mother.
And she opens the door and lets you in. And you come into this small hovel. And it is, you once came from a proud dwarven family, and your mother now is living in poverty and shame. She has a few old things still around the place. You recognize even things belonging to your father. There's a symbol of Moradin in this room that was given to you by your wife at your wedding, sitting on the mantelpiece. She looks around. She gets up off her chair and turns to see the archway that you appear through. Adric, Fogda, you're here.
Hello, Mum.
My son.
He
Why?
rushes in and embraces her.
She stands there and cries in front of you.
I'm sorry. I should never have left. I had no way of knowing.
What?
I'm sorry.
He's gone, Adric. Your father is gone.
Kilvar told me.
Why did you come back? I never thought I'd see you again, my boy.
I wasn't planning on coming back now. I had work to do, but he stands back.
What work is this, Adric?
I've
What?
been trying to fix the petrification. We're trying to fix it all.
Adric, you can't fix what's broke like that.
I'm getting close.
What do you mean,
Grabs her
Adric?
shoulders. I'm getting close.
Oh, Adric, don't lie to me. I'm too old for that.
I'm not lying. I'm getting close. I'm scouring Sidariel for answers, for something that I couldn't find in the deep roads. I'm going to make this right, and Father will never see it, and it kills me. It kills me. But I'm going to make it right for the rest of us, for all of them in that tomb.
You hear your cousin just sort of back a few feet behind you. He's delusional. You shouldn't listen to him. You should throw him out.
The weasel pops up from behind Edric's head and just stares his cousin down.
Okay. And he's got a pet.
She's a loyal friend. Don't you worry about her.
Adric, your father left you some things. Do you want them? It's not much.
I never wanted much.
Do you want to see them now or later?
No, while I'm here. I
old-
won't be here long.
Old clothes and a box. He told me never to open it.
Well, now might be the time to open it.
Aye. Very well. Not expecting this day to ever come. Huh. Would you
No, I was expecting to...
put the kettle on, will you?
Aye.
She goes over to the other room and she pulls open the curtain into the other room. It's dark, low rooms, and she digs through some stuff. You can't really tell what's going on there for a minute, but she comes back with this big steel box. She's hefting it, and you see, despite her age, her musculature is still quite strong, even though her skin is a little bit flabby and not so tight anymore. And she places this box down in front of you. It's got a lock on the top of it, and she says, "I have to find the key." And she starts looking around the house for the key.
While she's doing that, I'm just going to go to the door and just... I'll be a while. You guys go on to the tavern.
Very well.
Then
We'll be
Cliff
thinking
just-
of you, Adric.
Very well. So you guys head off to the tavern.
Right.
Um,
Dallas
and-
going to lean over to Storm and say, "You didn't happen to see which way Wiggins went?"
Storm?
I rolled a 6 for Storm, so probably not.
No.
One
I
minute
did
he was
not.
there, and the next minute he was gone.
And there are so many scents around that I cannot even use my nose to find him.
It's a very different town than what I'm used to, that's for sure. Right, on to the tavern.
All right, so you head off to the tavern, and when you get there, you get some very strange looks. But Kilvar introduces you to Berrenor, who's the tavern owner, and a number of other dwarves who are kind of curious about who you are and what you're doing here. We can roleplay that out, but I feel I want to go back to Adric's scene right now. I feel like I want to stay in character there a little bit. So
Makes
I'm
sense.
sorry to break it up like that, and
Sorry, guys.
that's okay.
No, I'm enjoying it.
Okay, so Adric, she's looking around the house for this key, and as she's doing that, she says, your father left you this box. He told me to never to open it unless you came back. I had a good mind to throw it in the river, to be fair with you, Adric. I didn't think you'd be
fair.
back.
I'm glad you didn't.
He said something about some clothes in there, some garments or something like that, perhaps from, I think it's passed down from his father before him, and so forth. He never wanted what was in there for himself. So, here it is. Here's the key. And she passes you this gold key. And again, you notice Moradin's symbol on the key. It's everywhere, of course, in this house. But it stands out to you right now as sharply as a beacon.
What's you following me? And he goes and unlocks it.
All right.
And gingerly, respectfully opens it.
Okay, you open the box, and inside you find, off at the very top of the box, there is an old hood, like a cloak, and under it you feel there's some other objects, big objects actually, and metal. And as you unwrap them, you finally open this green silk cloth with various embroidered symbols of the Fogdar family lineage patterned upon it, and beneath that are these beautiful golden gauntlets with gold trim around the edges.
I'm gonna take them out and have a closer look at them.
And your mother's
never wanted-
standing there looking at these. I've never seen these before. You never told me about these. He said this came from his father and his father before him, and
These are beautiful.
aye.
He never wanted these.
No, he told me that he couldn't get rid of it. It was his family lineages, but he told me I had to give them to you if I ever saw you again.
Adric's gonna take off the dwarven plate gauntlets and slip his hands into these.
Right. Well, congratulations. You have now finished your set.
Oh shit!
You know what they are now, don't you?
Yes, I do. Gauntlets of ogre strength,
They are.
which pair really well with my hammer, and that raises my strength up to 20, up to +7.
What?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Anyone who was watching me during the interaction was just me freaking out. Because I know exactly what the two are going to be.
And I imagine like the belt and the hammer, they all just probably glow.
Resonating
Being
together.
Yeah, resonating together.
Yeah. Yeah, there is, in fact, I suspect, an arc of electricity comes wrapping up your legs. Nyla, can you make a dexterity saving throw, please? Unless you would rather make a constitution saving throw. 10. Okay, Nyla, you get zapped.
How many points of damage do I take?
Oh, I think you take 1 point of damage.
Nyla turns back into herself. She gets shocked off this dwarf and turns into an elf, flung against the wall and like falls. Ow!
And your mother leaps back, as does the other lady there. What did I say her name was?
Gilgrith.
Gilgrith. Yep. Yep. Yes, Gilthor.
Gilthor, that's it.
Gilthor.
Okay, I thought I'd written it down.
All right. And your mother's like, "Who's this? Adric, who's this? Who have you brought into my house?
Help Nyla up. This is my friend, Nyla.
You're a changer, are you?
Aye.
You snuck into my house.
She didn't.
It was more
sneak
for
in.
moral support. It wasn't really for sneaking.
I see.
Ouch.
You're
When I-
consorting with
when I
elves,
s-
Adric.
Not just them. I've been all over Sidariel, and I've been to the Feywild too to find answers.
Adric.
I'm taking this very seriously.
I knew you were a special one when you were born. The priests, they say that you're... there are signs. There are signs there.
I don't place much faith in that anymore.
Oh. Well,
But you know my feelings about it.
aye, Adric, I know your feelings. You couldn't stand the priesthood, you couldn't stand the temple.
They're not failings. To question the people around you is not a failing.
Nyla, that's an accent thing. She said feeling.
Right.
It's all right. Sorry, mother. I've made some very good friends.
I see. And, there are more of them, are there?
Aye.
Not in
More
the room.
elves, humans. I've more or less adopted a drow child.
What? Adric, what? What?
I found him alone in the Underloch, and
You've been to the Underlock?
aye, the city of aberrations.
Oh,
And I couldn't just leave him on his own. So I took him with me.
I see. And now what? What are you planning to do with all this knowledge?
Fix the world. What else?
Fix the world?
What else is a hammer for?
Oh,
What
Adric.
else is a builder and a smith for?
She wraps her arms around you. You mad son of mine.
Gives her a big squeeze. I come from good stock.
Aye, that you did. That you did. I do believe that with my very heart. Aye,
I'm sorry for the pain that I brought you.
it can't be
You've
helped.
no idea how sorry.
You shouldn't have left, Adric.
I know, but I needed to.
Your poor wife, she suffers too.
Aye. She's... I have to see her after once I've done visited you,
She's on the agenda.
but I'd be lying if I said that's why I came.
Why did you come, Adric? Just to see me?
No,
It's kind of my fault, really.
no, yeah.
What do you mean by that?
A war is breaking out in Sidariel. It's between wizards that are trying to...
Ah, the overworld, Adric. Why do you care?
Because what... as above, so below. It will come down upon all of us. And if we don't band together, it will be too late. In my time above, I've come across some artifacts. Both of which I brought down here to be guarded, to be safe, where they can't be abused. The first is the crown of a lich. The second is the mask of Moradin.
She looks kind of confused, like she's kind of almost zoned out. Like it's going over her head. She doesn't even know what you're really... She doesn't understand the magnitude of what you're speaking.
Some very dangerous items that don't belong above the ground.
I see. I always thought you'd turn out to be an adventurer, Adric. Did you know that your great, 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 great-grandfather Fane was an explorer, an adventurer. Did you know that? Aye.
Gran wasn't much for stories when I was in the academy.
No, she'd send you home with bruises and marks on your body. I used to complain about that. Your father would do nothing about it, of course. I told him many times to go back there and tell that witch what to do with her. Too much.
She made me strong,
I suppose that's true.
but I'd be I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a lot. I'd be lying. But
Well,
she's still alright.
oh, she still kicks and breathes and trains at the Academy of Swords and Hammers. Aye. The young uns, the ones that survive, they continue to spend their days and nights under her strict and cold stare and so forth. I don't know how you could stand that place. The food was terrible.
Sounds like the Winter Queen.
That was bollocks, honestly.
Aye.
But I liked learning.
Aye.
I like to prove myself,
Yes.
and that's where I met Miglaya.
You did meet her there.
So it
And-
wasn't all bad.
She visits me every now and again, you know.
Does she?
Yes, she gave me this. She shows you this lovely pottery artifact. Basically, it's basically a jug for pouring ale.
Oh, that's lovely.
She made it herself. She's taken up pottering.
For someone with such a strong arm, she's good at her crafts.
She's very good at her crafts. And if you had had that child, Adric, it would have been a strong and most loved child.
It's still
What was her name? You wouldn't tell me what you're going to call her.
their name was Zaria.
Lovely name. Well, perhaps there will be another Zaria one day.
If I have my way, Zaria will come out of that tomb in my arms.
I see. Well,
And I'll be bringing the rest of them with me.
how would you do that?
He puts his helmet down on the table, and he sweeps the hair out of his forehead, and shows her that bronze mark. Yeah, the one that looks like a hammer.
Thank you, it is Sammy.
Thank you, Sammy. I don't know what's happening to me, but this is one of several changes that have happened in the last 2 years. This isn't a tattoo. This is a mark.
How did you get that? What did you do to yourself?
I was talking to a priest, and then my head burned, and I thought nothing of it. And now I hear whisperings of Moradin, my quietist.
He talks to you?
Aye,
He talks to you,
And-
Andrew.
aye. Never a lot, but
What is
He's
his
there.
voice like, Adric? Is it rich and deep and wonderful? Like your father's voice?
and more. It's like a landslide. It's an avalanche. And it's honey, and it's mead and ale. It's the richness of sunlight and a freshly cracked vein, crystals glowing in torchlight. But more than any of that is the power of it. how it shakes your bones, how it makes the ember of your soul flicker in the wind. And as much as I despise him for abandoning us, I can't help but feel my heart quicken.
Adric, I'm very proud of you, son. All right, out of game. Let's go back to the others.
Yeah, we got 8 minutes to do their thing.
Yeah. So you guys, you are at the Nodding Kettle, sitting around
And
a table.
Storm is used to people staring at him.
He is used to that. Yep. And there is a dwarven child hanging around at your table, going, You, what are you?
I am a Tabashi child.
You are a Tabashi child?
No, you are the child. I am the Tabashi.
What's a Tabashi? Like a cat?
Yes.
Don't get many cats down here. Why would you come down here?
I came with my companions. My pride.
These are your companions?
Yes, they are my pride.
So who are you with right now? You're with Dala, and that's
Just
it.
Dala,
Just Dala,
yeah.
isn't it? Oh, and Kilvar.
In Kilva.
Yeah, Kilvar. All right. All right. Enough of you. Off you go. You leave these fine people alone. But
I do not mind the child asking questions.
should we go back and check on Adric? It's been a while.
Yes, we could do that.
All right. Well, perhaps we'll go and knock on the door up there. Do you want to stay here and I'll bring him back and then we can move on? Or shall we all go together? Perhaps best if we stay together. I don't want to leave you two by yourselves around here.
It is getting quite crowded in here now.
Yes, and there's a lot of attention being drawn to our corner.
Right. Yes, whatever you think would be best under the circumstances.
Now, out of game, do you guys have anything particular that you would like to do or play out right now? In the tavern or between you? Any conversations between Dala and Storm that need to happen?
No, but I think Dala probably was watching Storm talk to the child, and I think she's starting to feel more comfortable around him because of the way he treated the kid and talked to him. Yeah.
Right, so he's not a monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nyla's gonna pull out the electrum from the wizard's bag of holding and just put it in the corner of the hovel that Adric's mother and cousin live in.
Oh, okay. So she puts all the electrum there. All of it. Wow. Okay. Do you do that like in sight of her or out of?
I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace and sneakily do it.
Okay. All right. Cool. Very good. Well, not long later then, Adric.
For an 18.
For an 18. Wow. All right. No worries. Not long later, there is a knock at the door when you're in conversation with your mother, and the cousin goes and gets the door again, and she says, "Mama, it's Kilvar's here." He says, "All right, I've come to check on Adric. Is he well?"
I am well, Kilvar.
Adric, your companions are waiting at the tavern. Are you done yet?
I'll be along. And he
No, you cannot play with my ears. No.
It was lovely to meet you, Gilgrid.
It was lovely.
And Gilfor.
I'll visit again before we leave.
Do that, Adric. We should have a drink. We should spend some time together. We should visit your father.
No, that's... I must.
You don't happen to have a cloak I can borrow? I'm kinda can't turn into a weasel again for a while.
I do, but it might be a little short for you, milady.
You'll have to squat.
That's fair. And I think I've actually got a hood, so I'll just chuck the hood up.
All right. So, long story short, you guys reunite outside the Nodding Kettle. Is that all right with everyone?
Yes.
Electrum's worth a lot, eh?
Electrum is worth less than gold, but more than silver. So,
It's
I
still plenty.
imagine I have kids pulling me like kids do with cats and stuff.
yep.
And,
Well,
yeah.
that's true.
Right.
But they also, you find that kids have parents, and these kids don't want these parents don't want their kids playing with some weird cat creature, alien monster.
Yeah,
so
no, I figured that, but
Right.
just from the kids' point of view, you know, 'cause-
Absolutely, yeah. The
Yeah.
kids all want to take a ride, and pluck some fur out of you as well. So you're finding little patches of fur getting nicked out of you.
Are you doing the cat thing where you're lying on your belly and just like being happy and rolling on the ground? Yeah, like that.
no, no.
He's
He's a
sitting
dignified
down, and then he's like moving his tail while like a kid tries to catch it.
Yeah. And I can see that this kid is trying to catch it. And I'm getting pulled all over the place and
Right.
asked questions like, have you got big sharp teeth? And I showed them big sharp teeth and all this sort of thing.
Dalla will lean over and say, "Do you need some help, Storm?
What? What did you say?
Do you need some help?"
Not unless you can handle cubs.
Right. Not exactly my specialty, but I'll try. We touch people gently, okay?
Just then, Nyla, Edric, and Kilgrit come back, and just Nyla looks at the kids and goes, "Oi, you lot!
What?
Piss off! He's my cat."
Behave, you lot.
He's your cat. How did you get him? Can you
Magic.
buy one? Can we buy one? Can
Tell
I
you
buy him
what.
off you?
Tell you how to find a cat.
I've got 15 silver.
You follow the flowers. And
Fo-
Nyla's gonna create a trail of flowers towards the other, like, outside of the bar.
At which point I make a wisdom saving throw and fail. And a trail of kids go following your trail of flowers.
I then shut the door of the bar.
And Storm's like in his head, thank goodness for that.
And I just lock the door.
Wolfskin Witch said, brilliant stream team. Have an awesome night. Stay warm. It's meant to get to 4 tonight. And have a
Oh,
great
God.
weekend
Cold as
too.
hell.
Brr.
Good night, awesome chat as well. I guess she has to go. I'm not sure, but in any case, thank you if you're
Yeah.
still there and you can hear us. We love you.
Good night, everybody. Thank you
do.
for
Good night,
watching.
everybody.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Wolfskin Witch has been our possibly longest follower.
Yeah.
In
I
the
love you,
stream
you're
for like
amazing.
a year now, and she never misses a game. So
Yeah.
We
words.
appreciate you.
Yeah,
Shall we do a raid?
very much so.
We
Yeah,
should
let
do
us
it.
raid.
That's right.
Let's raid. Raid. Let's see who we can raid. Who's up for a raid?
I would like to raid, please.
Raid. Hey.
I would like to raid, please.
like to raid.
I would like to raid.
I would like to raid.
All right, who's on? Let's see. Dead
Madam
Aussie
Madam
Gamer,
Gandalf, 'cause
you're
she's
gonna
got a
get
cool
my
name.
raid. Here we go.
That all
Hey,
Say hello to
Dead
Dead
Aussie
Aussie
Gamer.
Gamer. He came and
They
joined
give
our.
it
us.
He joined
good
our
time.
Discord channel the other day.
Oh, did he?
Yep, he's on our
Hey.
Discord.
Amazing.
Yay.
Yep. Here
Hell
we go. Raiding now. Bye.
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Hell yeah. I need to go pee like a racehorse.
Same, I'll be back.
Resource.
I did mean to take the snugget off at some point, but it was just too warm, so I didn't.
Right.
Also, I love the idea of just kids following a trail of flowers out of a bar and then just shutting the door quickly. Just being like, nope. I'm done with ya.
Right. How many did we raid with? Like 9 people or something?
11.
11.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not bad. We held a steady amount of people.
We did. We did. I'm sorry that the character, the role playing kind of centered on a few people.
Oh, that's all good.
But it happens sometimes. We'll just, everyone gets their turn. We're at Adric's thing, and that's his storyline at the moment. So, yeah.
No, that was really important, I thought, and it was excellently done.
Yeah.
Yay.
I almost didn't want to come out of wild shape, but then I got hit with lightning, so I was just like, weasels have 1 hit point.
Really? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow, and I said 1 hit point literally. Mind you, it wouldn't have mattered what it was, so
No, if I took any kind of damage, would have become